Idlewild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
It's time for Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports Time is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time on a Monday. Bryant and Brett with you. Johnny Hill producing as always. We're with you for the next 3 hours and plenty to talk about after a very busy weekend in the sports world. Obviously, Major League Baseball rolling right along. NBA playoffs kicked off over the weekend. Some spring football action as well over the weekend. So a really, really fun couple of days. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm well, and I know the Tigers had a great day on Saturday afternoon at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, and the last dance before, kind of the last dance for the public to see before the work really starts. Johnny Hill can attest. From now through Memorial Day weekend, through the last weekend in May, this is really their only go off and do whatever you want to do time. And then from Memorial Day weekend, a lot of the work is in solitude. It's really pretty lonely. I mean, it's just them and the strength and conditioning staff and team. The head coach can have very little contact, which I think is nuts. And I've said for years, why don't we let them have contact? I think the more contact with a young person, the less chance of one of those screaming summertime headlines.
Sure.
But they don't. And then camp will start, and a few more eyes and public information will be out, and then the season will be here before you know it.
Yeah, so it's right around the corner, and I know a lot of people get excited for spring games, kind of see what the team will look like. But you're right, it's a long summer before we really see them out there for the first game of the season.
And the staffs are going through this last round of cuts and additions.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it won't be more cuts and more additions by the 1st of August and even by opening day for everybody. But I did watch. Did you notice that Michigan's spring game was on Big Fox Saturday?
Was it? I did not see that. So was it good? I mean, how they look?
Well, like most spring games look.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to tell, and nobody's really running a whole lot. Although at the Tiger game, I was following Jonah Dillon's Twitter site, and the Tigers ran a couple razzle-dazzle plays, didn't they?
Ridiculous. Yeah, they sure did. I think 3 or 4. I mean, they did a bunch of them. But, yeah, I mean, trying to –
Brian, I don't mind it. For everybody game – for Florida State, that's one more thing to game plan for.
Well, I hope they don't run –
for Troy.
I hope they –
I'm not worried about North Alabama.
Right. I hope they either don't run those plays or execute them better if they do pull them out against Florida State, because they were very ugly. But that's what spring's for.
It's a good time to learn. Okay, maybe we don't need to spend 1 second on that from here on.
Yes. But, hey, but for Fox, that's how you play it right down the middle. They had Ohio State's spring game a couple of weeks ago. Now they've got Michigan. Nobody can say that they're partial. When we, in 6 months, 8 months, when we get around to the big game, nobody can say Fox was partial to either side. You put them both on Fox, right down the middle. I love it.
Yeah, they sure can. And over the weekend, the NBA got started, and I watched a lot of every one of those games. Not a lot to see, really.
Yeah, it was a lot of domination by those higher seeds. I saw, first time since 2013 that all 8 of the teams with home court advantage won the first game. So, I mean, it was kind of, very chalky over the weekend in the NBA.
Just one game, but I went 7-1.
Wow.
In first round up 1-0, Indiana. Ooh.
Yeah.
Against Milwaukee, against Damian Lillard.
That's right.
In the first half.
Yeah, no, I mean, they need more guys to step up. Didn't seem like anybody stepped up, and, when you have Dame Lillard on the other side going off for 35 in the first half, I mean, not really much you can do.
But a couple of good games in there. Tonight we'll pick up. There'll be a lot of adjustment.
Sure.
And teams will know, if we're going to steal a game, we better get this one before we swing it back home. Those games will pick up. That atmosphere last night in Oklahoma City, they're plenty starved. I think 5 years in between last night and the last playoff appearance. And do you think a lot of the country that likes sports knows they're the 1 seed?
No, I don't think so.
I don't either.
I don't. But hey, maybe I could be wrong. But I'd be surprised.
I didn't lead the witness with a question, did I?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
But no, I mean, who would have thought that OKC would be the number 1 seed? If you're just now jumping in and you're saying, "Oh, playoff basketball," I don't think anybody would guess. Oh, OKC, this team that didn't even make the playoffs last year, this super young team that average age was like 23.5 years old. They're the number 1 seed in the West, the super competitive conference.
You made a lot better case than I did. You understood it better than I did, and that is the case. And that roster is. Last night I'm watching Charles Barkley, and look, I love them, and I don't know how much they do or they don't watch, study, pay attention.
Right.
I don't think they can just do it winging it every night.
Sure.
But he was really. I mean, he was like. Oklahoma City's really good. Like, I'd watched them all year.
Well, that's the thing. What was it? I think it was like earlier this year where it was like, this is Oklahoma City's first nationally televised game in like 2 or 3 years. And so, I mean, I guess if Chuck's only watching the games on national TV, he probably hasn't seen OKC much this season.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe looking at box scores, but you definitely, there's a difference of looking at box scores and actually watching the team out there. And they're a fun team to watch. Struggled, but I think a lot of people anticipated them struggling a little bit with how young they are, but able to pull out that win last night, and definitely got to give them some confidence moving forward.
They do, and you mentioned the weekend in baseball, and there was a lot of baseball and a lot of cold weather baseball. I maybe this will be we're getting close to the end of that. Did you see it snowing Saturday night during the Rockies game?
I did, yeah.
Right here in the middle of all this global warming, snowing in the Rockies. Imagine that.
How about that? Yeah, they had to postpone.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Sure is.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They had to postpone Friday's game because of all the weather, and then Saturday night got. It wasn't even like a light snow. It was very noticeable from any angle that it was snowing.
Oh, you'd have to have your windshield wipers on full tilt.
Yeah, which was awesome. And so I was showing people that I was with. I was watching on my phone. I was like, guys, look, it's coming down in Colorado. And they were like, oh, is it raining hard? I was like, no, snow. And they were like, what? And so that was fun over the weekend.
It was, in a lot of City Connect uniforms out this weekend.
Yes. City Connect, we had this conversation last week. There's some that I can get on board with. Others
So they only wear them at home?
Yes, that's correct. Yeah. As much as I
got a theory as to why. They'd be humiliated to wear them out in front of anybody else.
It'd be much easier to, chirp a right fielder when he's wearing a City Connect jersey that's just hideous than it is if they're just wearing the regular jersey.
He should be, and they should be. I'm going to start calling them the City Disconnect for older fans that have been really loyal to baseball, that you're in danger of running us off over this junk.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean,
they need a big match.
They're not very good. I'm not a big fan of the City Connect jerseys.
Whatever the Phillies had on Friday night. I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah. Those are not very good. Yeah, those are new City Connect jerseys this year for Philadelphia.
Because the old ones were too bad or worse.
Well, they just didn't have one. They're like the Cardinals, where this is the first year they have a City Connect jersey, and so.
Do the Yankees have one?
No, I don't think so. They might be getting one, but they don't. They haven't had one yet. I don't think. If they do, I forgot about it. But no, I don't think they have one.
The Dodgers do, don't they?
The Dodgers, I believe they do.
I don't know that I've seen it. The Yankees didn't have that on this weekend.
No. Yeah,
I don't know that the Yankees were. The Yankees were at home this weekend, yes, because they pretty lustily booed Aaron Judge.
Yes. Yeah, no, I don't think they have one, but no, you're right. I think the Phillies City Connect jersey, I'm trying to go through quickly in my head. Yeah, I think it's the worst in baseball. I think it's really bad.
That was a grand prize.
Yes.
Now the Rockies Saturday, when I saw them, they had theirs on one of the nights this weekend, didn't they?
Theirs is cool. I mean, they're just fine.
I didn't mind that too much.
Yeah, no, there.
I think their home pinstripes look great.
Sure, yeah. I think there's if I had to rank City Connect jerseys, I think theirs is high up there. It's probably top 3 or 4. I like the Reds.
Now, I didn't get tossed over the top row over getting the matches out, did I?
No,
burning the City Connect.
Okay. No, you didn't. Close. I fear that we are gonna lose out today on our baseball.
Will Tex County get me? Because if it is, I'm long gone.
Yeah, I think when we start talking Cardinals later, if you want to do
tough,
it now,
Brett.
I think that's
it is tough, Johnny. Oh, 7 out on April 22nd. That's a significant hole to be in, isn't it?
Sure is.
And if you're counting on finishing in first, and I don't think anybody that's watched this team should be counting with this. Here's where I am with the Cardinals.
Okay.
I don't know that I'm that angry or as angry as I was last year or even in his first year with Ollie Marmol. I don't think he has anything. How can you be mad at him?
Seems kind of unfair if you're going to be mad at a guy that doesn't have anything, you know?
Right. I mean, it's like when Matt Luke was at Ole Miss. Why get mad at Matt?
Sure.
I mean, he took over in one of the hardest periods in the history to be the head coach. I think this will go down for Oliver Marmol now in his third year. And they're going to ride it out with him this year. He's had the 3 toughest years in Cardinals history to be manager.
Wow. I mean, that's hard to fathom, but you're right. I mean, it's been nothing.
He got the short straw of the last dance, the goodbye to Albert and Yachty.
Yep.
And then the last year, the year after them, and that's quite a void to have to try to replace.
Absolutely.
And you had to somewhat placate them with playing time and at-bats and things. And, a lot of people, coming from all the Cardinal footprint from around the Midwest and the South to go to St. Louis to see them. Well, they didn't want to go up there and see them not in the lineup.
No. I mean, they're there for a reason.
And they mostly made it work that year. Then last year without them, and now this year with even less.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so why clamor about him?
Brett, I love your way of thinking. I love the way you're viewing it. Because I don't think I view it the same. It just makes me mad every time.
How do you view it, Brian?
I mean, it's just it's hard to watch.
And poor Johnny signs up for Cardinal fandom. Johnny, it shows the measure of the good man that you are to sign up for this in this hour of need.
Yeah. It's rough. It's rough.
Brett, I was just looking for a home. They just look like I just felt like we could be comfortable over here, but it's rain and showers.
It's no comfort.
We put up
when it's hot, it's hot. When it's cold, it's cold in the Cardinal house right now.
Well, and that was the biggest issue this weekend for the Cardinals. Is pitching was great all weekend.
Pitching's not that bad all year.
Brewers didn't really do anything special. It's just
they really
Cardinals
didn't.
Couldn't hit the ball.
They really did.
I mean, some of those games I was just waiting for a hit.
I think really lucky to have the 9 little wins the Cardinals have.
Sure. I mean, I think you're right, which is unfortunate. Yeah.
What we got is almost as many wins as we are games back.
It's sad. It's sad. And now the D-backs come into town.
Brett, you might be getting close, man.
I really am close.
I think he's doing a good job.
Now the champions of the National League coming in. You're right.
That's right. And so, and D-backs looking to try to kind of right the course a little bit. 1 game under 500 and trying to get back over 500.
And when I say this, I'm not talking about the Tigers in spring, and I'm not talking about the Tigers and anybody in the portal, but around college sports. The next portal guy is the great answer, and everybody had a good spring. Have you noticed that?
Oh, yeah.
I saw a quote today from who in the SEC. You could copy and paste and put that quote by any coach.
Sure. I mean, how spring goes now.
Maybe South Carolina. I think it was South Carolina. Did they have their game last Saturday?
I think so.
I think it was.
I think so.
And Shane Beamer can be
hey, he knows what he's doing up there in front of
very hyperbolic.
He can. You're right about that. I mean, there's a reason that South Carolina has all this excitement every year going into
and you almost have to in a place like he is in.
Sure.
he's not in trouble going into next year, but he could work himself into trouble.
There are starting to be some eyes on him for sure, and yeah, you got to say the right things when you're in a position.
So
like that.
you got to pump a little sunshine,
Sure do.
and it doesn't hurt for season ticket packages.
No, not at all. I mean, that's what you're up there for.
Hard to sell them in the season ticket office if the coach after the spring game goes, man, we stink. We're really terrible. We're crummy.
We don't have anybody out there that can really compete.
If we win 6 games, it's a miracle. Yeah, give me 4 on the 50 for that.
Put that quote on your on the email you send all the fans for season ticket purchases. Yeah. So no, I mean that's spring for you, and now especially with the new portal opening in the spring, everybody looks good. Everybody's going to be a starter, and everybody that they do pick up in the transfer portal is going to come in, also be a starter, and be a massive piece going forward. It's just how you got to play the game now.
There's so much I love about the expanded playoffs.
Sure.
It, really at 4, that was not playoffs. Right. Now, I reject the crowd that said it was the invitational, whatever. Teams were earning it, and I want somebody to show me a year in the 4 teams, and even back to the 2, that can really say that wasn't the best team. That they didn't deserve to win it all.
Right.
I would love for somebody to do that. But what I love one of the things I love the most about it is it'll do this come bowl time for those teams. And that first weekend won't be considered a bowl. And I want to find out from somebody if that will count as a bowl appearance.
Ooh.
Like if you go that first weekend and lose, do you not? It doesn't matter to most people, but people are proud of 39 all-time bowl appearances or whatever it is. That second, if you win that first weekend and you get into what it will be the Elite Eight, the quarterfinals, then that starts incorporating the bowls, and that certainly will count.
Sure.
But I love that for those teams, nobody, whether you win or lose, nobody can besmirch. Yeah, well, you won the fill-in-the-blank bowl, but that other team didn't care.
Oh, right.
Or if you lose it, we lost the fill-in-the-blank bowl, but we didn't care.
Sure.
We didn't get in the real playoffs or the invitational or whatever everybody calls it, and we shut it down. Had a lot of people looking to go to the no.
Right.
If you win that 5 versus 12 or 6 versus 11, there's no out. And then when you get into that quarterfinal, that Elite Eight, that final 4, and for sure in those finals, that final 2.
Yep.
Nobody can go, well, you beat a half-hearted fill-in-the-blank.
No.
And so sick of people that really have never won jack wanting to besmirch teams that's gone and won one of these bowl games.
No, you're right about that, and I haven't even thought about that, but that's a really, really good point because now it's the playoffs. Everybody,
so you didn't care about the playoffs, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you got a bunch of gutless wonders on your team.
Exactly.
Then.
I mean, who's going to go to the playoffs and not care? Not try out there.
And I'm not saying there's not somebody that opt out.
Sure.
That opts out.
Right, and that's a little different. But you're right. There's not going to be that. You're not going to have to question that care factor from teams of it's just another bowl. Who cares? They're just going to go out there because they have to. No,
I don't think there's anything worse than to besmirch the victor.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. It's a really good point. Well, let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, we've already mentioned it. NBA playoffs kicked off over the weekend. Some interesting games, even though the higher-rated seed swept the board over the weekend. A clean sweep for those teams with home court, but we've got a handful of games tonight, and we'll see how everything plays out. So we'll talk NBA playoffs in our next segment. 3:45, Tigers wrapped up spring practice with their spring game on Saturday. We'll talk a little bit about that, what happened in spring, what were kind of the big takeaways from the spring game. We'll do all of that at the end of this hour. 4 o'clock, David Cobb from CBS Sports. He'll join us, talk some college basketball and college football. Plenty to get to with David. A lot of transfer portal news. That's something that he's really been focusing on over at CBS Sports with his transfer portal rankings. So we'll get into a lot of that, but also spring football for college football. Plenty to talk to. 4:30, we'll talk some baseball as we've already got one game in the books in Major League Baseball, but it was a busy weekend 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, DeMichael Cole, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. He'll join us to talk the NBA. We might talk a little bit of Grizzlies as well, as they're now to the offseason, but plenty of talk about the NBA playoffs. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure studios where family and fun come together. Head out to Family Leisure for factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and patio furniture. It's patio season. Come by Family Leisure and check out the new 2024 patio furniture sets. Pool season will be here before we know it. Buy now and get in line for your pool installation. Get pre-season pricing. Save $1,000 to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Also, special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and outdoor kitchens, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
We are Sports Time, and we're with you until 6 o'clock. It's produced by Johnny Hill, and we want you to be a part of it, whether text, talk, or all our guests. They all appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin number at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence, knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but better yet, stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500. You'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day is some breaking news that has just been released. Since we started the show, Pete Thamel is reporting on Twitter that Missouri is targeting Memphis Athletic Director Laird Veach to be the school's next athletic director, sources told ESPN. Veach has been at Memphis since October of 2019 and brings SEC experience from his time at Florida from 2017 to 2019 when he was an executive associate AD. He also worked at Missouri in various development roles from 1997 to 2002. His football experience along all stops is compelling to Missouri officials. So certainly interesting news there from Pete Thamel. Laird Veach obviously in great spirits on Saturday at the spring game, talking about all of the development that was coming, the new stadium, FedEx, and their what they're doing for NIL going forward with their pledge of $5 million a year. But now, news that he might be on the move to Missouri. That's definitely big for the Tigers.
That is big, Brian. At 3:30, we were going to talk a lot of Tigers. Yeah. I want to get back into this. Mm-hmm. And if Laird is indeed gone, if he is, I say sure. A collective thank you and good luck and best wishes. Yeah. I think in very, very, very difficult, trying years, maybe the toughest Absolutely. Ever. He's distinguished himself pretty well. We'll talk about maybe the composite of who we would like to see if indeed he is gone. Interesting news. I don't think that comes as a big shock to a lot of people. I think Mizzou, well, I know Mizzou went hard after Ross Bjork, and Ross had a background there, and then Ross turned it down and then ultimately took Ohio State. Sure. But Laird is Big 12 type. That's his background. I don't know type. Let me take that out. Not type. That's his background. Has a Big 12 history, and I think knows a lot of people in those circles, and that could be happening. And back in the SEC, that he has history of, as you said, after his time at Florida. My top story: I didn't think we'd hear from Scotty Scheffler again until around the PGA. I thought after he'd leave Augusta National in that green jacket again, go be with his wife as she's having their baby, but nope. He played today, in fact, early this morning, and dominated as much as you can at Harbortown and winning again. This year, here's what he's done this year. T5 at Kapalua, T17 at the American Express out in the desert, Old Bob Hope, T6 at Pebble Beach, T3 at Phoenix, T10 at Riviera, win at the Arnold Palmer, T2 in Houston, win the Players, win the Masters, win RBC Heritage, win almost $18 million since January 1.
what an absolute burner he's on right now. I mean, it's incredible. It's impossible to even think of.
On a heater, on a burner, on the Johnny Miller run that he was on, let's slow down on comparing him to Tiger.
Sure.
Because right now, Tiger Woods sits at 15 majors.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler sits at 2. Let him get to at least about half, about 7 or 8, and then I'll have Tiger conversation if I'm still around. If I'm not, you guys can.
Sure, why not? Do you want to give credit to Johnny? Because I don't. I'm not giving Johnny credit for picking Scotty.
I just said I don't like anybody besmirching the victor.
Look,
to Johnny goes the credit.
You see what he do?
Look, here's the thing. I mean, for you and John, and we can come back to this conversation on Wednesday.
Hey, John is unbelievable with his picks. I told Brett.
Show me a winner that is not Scotty Scheffler, and I'll give you credit. But you take the world number 1 who's on an absolute burner right now, you get no credit from me.
Brian, I'm sorry.
Next week.
Brian, we've never gotten fussy with each other, and I don't want to start today over golf or over Johnny, but to the victor go the spoils.
Thank you, Brett. I really appreciate it.
Low man wins.
Look, I'm just saying, let's have.
You're giving Johnny no credit for his golf acumen.
I'm just saying, it doesn't take much. Doesn't take much effort.
What'd you say, Brett, for my golf acumen? I like it.
Brian, you had a winner this weekend.
I did. I get no credit. I get 0 money and 0 credit because I'm playing.
You didn't get much money over
the PVC or whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called anymore. You had it down last week.
The PVC pipe open.
Literally, whatever it was.
You didn't get much credit. You got even less cash out of it. I was stunned when I told you that up.
I was doing, when you sent the money from the weekend, I was going, all right, we got an outright.
Yeah. Hey,
PVC open.
Brett, he saw the money.
I picked a winner and I'm in dead last. How does that happen?
Oh, that's funny. PVC pipe.
Jeez.
Not top story of the day.
My not top story could have been the fact that I picked an outright winner and
got very
still
little
in
for
last, still in last place. But it doesn't bother me. I'm not worried about it.
Brian, you know what you won? You won the equivalent of the Bahamas Bowl.
I'm gonna remember this because, well, I mean,
Johnny won the Fiesta Bowl.
He did.
That's very good.
When them numbers came out, he did.
Johnny, a couple of years ago, this was two years ago, I think, or 3 years ago, maybe. Either my first or second year doing golf picks, I picked like multiple outright winners. But I did not win. I was in like 3rd place. I mean, the money just didn't because of different tournaments, payouts, that sort of thing.
You won the alternate tournament opposite the Open Championship up in Kentucky.
That's right. So I just labeled myself the MVP of the golf.
Oh, he just labeled himself.
Look, I'm not saying we might be on another MVP season.
That's great.
I'm just saying.
He on another MVP run.
Johnny, and on this show, there's no controversy like golf pick controversy.
Oh, man, it gets heated. It gets heated. But my not top story of the day, it's got to be the NBA playoffs. The excitement that was, even though a lot of them were maybe surprising in some of them with the home team winning every game. But I do think some very interesting games that played out. The Magic and the Cavs, and low-scoring affair, 97-83. I don't think the Magic are going to shoot that bad every single game, so maybe that's a competitive series down the stretch. Knicks and 76ers was a really fun game, even though the Knicks able to strike late in the game to secure that win. So I think some fun series that are going to become after these first games. But we'll just see how they play out later tonight and then in tomorrow when we get some more games.
I'm right there with you. All 8 NBA series won by the better seeds, all at home, and all except 1, maybe 2 games fairly easily. Phillies and the Knicks, pretty good. Garden was alive. That was pretty good. Oklahoma City and New Orleans, real good late last night. But everything else was sheer blowouts. Adjustments will be made, and some 1 or 2 or 3 will take a game 2. There's some prime suspects tonight. 3 games tonight, 2 of them are prime for that.
Yep.
Philly at Madison Square Garden tonight could be one. Magic at Cleveland. Both of you guys have Magic, and I like those picks. I took Cleveland, but I like your picks. No shot for Lakers in Mile High. None.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a rough series for them. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to a break. We were gonna do NBA talk at 3:30, but let's talk Tigers at 3:30, and then maybe we can get to some NBA. But obviously with the news of Laird Veach, we'll get to a break, and then when we come back, we'll talk about that breaking news.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
If you own a business, you know Luttrell Belting keeps you moving. Luttrell has cost-effective belts, conveyor components, and 24/7 on-site service to keep you operating smoothly. Texts are just a phone call away at 800-441-8946 or online at LuttrellBelting.com. Luttrell's Memphis plant stocks belting in nearly every size and finish, and if they don't have it, they'll make it. From ordering to selection, fabrication, and installation, your Luttrell sales rep is there for you. Luttrell Belting keeps you moving.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me. 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
It's the Dodge Power Shot Day's last call, and that means it's time to get your best deal at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the pike. Feel exhilarated in 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4, $25,889 or $389 a month. And get yours before they're gone. 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, $29,969 or $459 a month. And during Ram Truck Month, get 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cab, $6,000 off MSRP. Plus 0% for 72 months on select models. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars. All 75 months at 8.99%. Renegade Triple P 56.520. MSRP 31.095. Charger PH 651.421. MSRP 36.420. Ram RG 193.472. MSRP 65.925. AP offer at 72 months. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Already some heavy traffic from time to time on 240 East over here at Poplar as traffic increases even more. 55 southbound across the bridge coming over from West Memphis as we watch it also pick up already in the Midtown area, just in a couple of spots like I-40, especially as you head towards Danny Thomas. A 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in the Memphis area. It's Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, we mentioned earlier that Pete Thamel reporting on social media that Laird Veach has been targeted by Missouri to be their next athletic director. Laird Veach took over here at Memphis in 2019. And, Brett, you mentioned it. I mean, talk about a really hard, I don't want to say impossible, but a really difficult job for anybody. You get hired at a new place in 2019. The world changes a year later when COVID-19 hits. You had to make several coaching hires.
It changed quickly.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you deal with that. You deal with hiring. I mean, there's been a lot of turnover with head coaches, not just football and men's basketball. NIL has started. The transfer portal has started. I mean, it has been a tough job for anybody in athletics, but specifically AD.
It has been. Laird was hired fall of 2019. Is that right?
October of 2019.
Okay, so he gets here fall of 2019. You know, one of the 2 or 3 most popular sports figures in the history of this city is getting ready to start his second year as head coach. Is that right? That would have been Coach Hardaway's second year.
That's right.
He had completed year 1, 18, 19. That's right.
Yep.
And so he walks in, and this is your basketball coach, and he's not your boss, but you need to do what he says. and I say that lovingly. I say it. I don't say that with any animosity whatsoever. Football is going better than it's ever gone in the history of the school. You got to keep that up.
Yep.
You're replacing a fairly successful AD in Tom Bowen.
Absolutely.
Whatever happened. You're still in the heart of SEC country.
Sure.
We're getting ready to have transformation with NIL and things like that, like nobody could have imagined. Then a global pandemic hits March of 20. Good luck. Go get them, Laird.
Yeah, go get them. Have fun. and also in that you've got to try to figure out stadium and what's going to happen with your stadium. Are you going to be able to get money from the state? How's it going to work out to get stadium renovation?
They're all a hard job, but it is a particularly really hard job for a lot of the factors that he can't control, that nobody has ever been able to control. I'm not going to throw out names nationally or even locally on who it could be if indeed this occurs, and it really feels like it's close.
Yeah, it's being reported by a lot of people that they're finalizing a deal. So it sounds like maybe even by the end of the show, we might have a definite answer.
And I don't know. I've had. Well, except for one time twice on there. Gabe and I had him one time, and then one time last fall I would help him pinch hit for Dave, and had Laird on, and so 2, I guess 10 minutes each hit on radio, so 20 minutes, and one of those I shared. So and then 2 other conversations. So what I'm saying is I don't know him. There's absolutely no need for me to be the pro Laird guy. What Josh call them positive Pauls.
That's right.
There's none. Just what I've seen has been a really good job.
Yeah. I mean,
and it seems like a really nice man that drew that tough hand and did a very capable job. You're not getting a job in SEC because you did a poor job at the previous stop, wherever that previous stop is, whether it was like Ross from Ole Miss to A&M and A&M to Ohio State, or like it is in this case. Here's the composite of the person, male or female, and I'm not, and he would be succeeding a female athletics director at Mizzou. Whatever that would be more than fine with me. Here's the person that I think I want. Maybe somebody.
I think we lost him. Oh, nope, there he
is. Shelby County. Did you lose me?
Yeah, we lost you there for a second, but we got you now.
Where'd you lose me at?
You literally just started on the type of person you'd want.
Okay. I want somebody from the Memphis business community, male or female, that really knows, pardon the pun, the 901.
Yeah.
So, someone that can mix and mingle in a lot of different areas of fundraising and around town. Community oriented, whether it's a community center, wherever, or it's a corporate boardroom, wherever, and maybe not have as much that resume of, and I'm not knocking this, but that resume that all the modern ADs really have, where they kind of get on that AD ride about 25 and first job's kind of in ticketing, and then in suite sales. They're in ticketing at one place, and then they go to the next place, and they're in suite sales, corporate sales at the next place, and then they go to another place, and they're in charge of spring and Olympic sports, and then they're assistant AD, and they rise up, as one of the lieutenants in the department, and then they get on the AD ride. I don't know that that's as important as somebody that knows Memphis and can really understand it, because you can hire all the lieutenants you want. You can hire somebody that knows the NCAA rule book backwards and frontwards. You can hire somebody that's got a great handle on the non-revenue producing sports. And I don't want to cast aspersions on any of those sports, but we know what they are. I want somebody that can have a grasp on three big things: fundraising, football, and basketball.
Yep. No, you're absolutely right. And so I think, I do think, though, that this is going to be a job that when it comes open, no matter which way the university goes and hire, I think it's going to be an attractive job with the momentum that seemingly they have with stadium upgrades and this NIL package. I think it's going to be an attractive job for people, but I'm right. I'm with you. I think somebody that knows this community, knows this city, and kind of knows how to work it, I think would be a perfect hire for them.
I will throw out a name.
Okay.
I will throw out a name. Proud Tiger graduate, and has a great background, as good as any in this city, of knowing sports and the movers and shakers.
Sure.
Someone like, and boy, he may text me and go, "Thanks a lot. Don't get me in trouble with my job I have now." Someone like Harold Grader.
Yeah. That's a really good idea.
You cut him open and Tigers flood out.
Sure. Yeah. No, I would like that a lot.
And I love the interim athletic directorship that Allie Prescott had.
Sure.
I don't know that Allie would want that now at his at this point in his life. He's kind of fought the good fight for a lot of things. I don't know, but I loved what he did as interim, as the bridge between Tom and between Laird. The Tigers have had, the ADs that come in from around the country, and R.C. Johnson, and Tom, and in Laird. And I'm sorry if people go, man, he always brings it back to Ole Miss. It's what I'm most familiar with. Ross Bjork served one of the biggest needs that Ole Miss ever needed, in that we needed somebody not from the good old boy club.
Right.
We needed outside eyes coming in and telling us honestly where it hurt.
Sure.
And it hurt him telling a lot of people where it hurt.
Sure.
Needed that badly. After him, then Ole Miss needed one of its own, and got Keith Carter, and he's killing it by any definition of it. I think this would be a good time for Memphis to have one of its own or someone from this community. Now that I'm just brainstorming and talking out loud, I'm going to get in a bunch of trouble. Maybe, some whiz kid in that FedEx sports marketing department.
Yeah, why not?
Somebody like that.
Sure, yeah. But no, I'm with you. I think with the momentum they have and what you've seen these last couple of years, getting somebody that knows this area, knows this program, knows this university, I think that would be a smart hire for them.
Now, if they hire the person with the traditional resume and that stair step on that very evolutionary process on the way up, that'd be fine too. But I wouldn't limit myself of let's go out there and just kind of pour through that big 3-ring binder of resumes that they all look the same.
Mm-hmm. No, you're right about that. So we'll see where they go. But mentioned it earlier. It looks like,
and I know Tiger fans right now collectively are going, the last person we need advice on who our AD should be is you. but that's okay too.
Well,
keep the text coming.
Sure, I guess lucky for them, you won't be making the decision, so it's just ideas.
That's right. Won't make one decision about it.
That's the big difference. But no, it does look like. It's going down. It sounds like they're finalizing contract, and who knows? It could be very, very soon before we know. But it sounds like Missouri is targeting Memphis Athletic Director Laird Veach. So we'll see if that becomes finalized. That gets announced. We'll definitely let you know when that happens. And then I guess in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, we'll start to get more and more information on what direction the Tigers go. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit about what happened over the weekend in the NBA playoffs.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
You don't have to be an executive to enjoy the Executive Happy Hour at 117 Prime, Memphis's premier downtown dining destination, but you'll feel like one. From 4 to 6 in the afternoon, Tuesday through Saturday, find your way to the bar at 117 Prime, because that's where the Executive Happy Hour happens. And enjoy $1.50 Gulf oysters, $4 domestic beers, $7 house wines, and $7 cocktails, a daiquiri, an old-fashioned, a margarita, or a martini, and soak up the atmosphere at 117 Prime like a big shot.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 do it signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 do it signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE 756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. And I mentioned we'd let you know when we got more information about Laird Veatch. Literally right when we went to a break, I get a notification on my phone. Jason Munns is reporting that his sources within the program have confirmed that Laird Veatch is leaving to become the athletic director at Missouri. So now the university will switch gears and start looking for a replacement for him, and we'll see where they go with that.
Again, the challenges that he encountered, and it shows also last week, the last lap, he took it hard through the tape. I don't know how anybody couldn't say thank you and good luck and best wishes.
Absolutely. I mean, I think today.
If we play you, we hope we kick your tail.
Sure, yeah. So
starting with Mizzou next fall in basketball.
Exactly, and hope that we can play you more. Hopefully, when those.
And hope when you're there the next time we have a contract, you actually abide by it at Mizzou.
Yes, and hopefully he will, because I remember what he was saying when Missouri dodged it. So
all right, I should have just left it at thank you, shouldn't I?
Well, I mean, hey, look, I'm with you.
That's where I always get in trouble. Just leave it at thank you. That's all you got to say.
It's all right. It's all right. But over the weekend, it was very busy with the NBA playoffs getting started. 4 games on Saturday, 4 games on Sunday. Really exciting game last night between the Thunder and the Pelicans. It felt like the Thunder would try to pull away. They get up 7, 8, 9 points, but really could never pull away. Then the Pelicans down the stretch really asserted their dominance and kind of showed, hey, you are still young. Y'all have some things to figure out. But the Thunder able to pull it out. A 2-point win for them. I thought both teams looked bad at times. Both teams looked impressive at times. It was a fun, interesting game last night.
In Oklahoma City, they do the crowd environment, especially at playoff time. The Grizzlies sure know it, been on the receiving end of that, and that's what I want FedEx Forum back to next year. Maybe this absence will make the heart really grow fonder next year. When we thought we were going to be on a 6, 8, 10-year just easy run to playoffs, well, life happened, sports happened, injuries happened, the year happened, and maybe next year not take it a lick for granted.
Oh, I don't think anybody's going to take next year for granted at all. I mean, after what we just had to go through as, in a city, from fan to media to coaches to players. I mean, it was rough all around for everybody. So, it's fun. It hurts that the Grizzlies aren't there, but it is fun to see some of these atmospheres and think, all right, next year it feels like you're going to be back there, and you're right. I think a lot of people will be really excited for that and show their full support. But you mentioned, I mean, it was not just OKC. There were some really good environments across the NBA for these first games.
It looked fun. It looked like Madison Square Garden, like we want it, and it'll really feel like it. Sure. I think again tonight. I wasn't that surprised with the Clippers. Now, that building was rather laid back.
Sure, yes, it was, but
as it can get, especially for them.
Sure, yes, kind of little brother in that arena, but fun game for them.
And that's why Ballmer wants out of there. You can tell it with him.
As quick as possible.
And, man, he's everywhere, isn't he?
He sure is, yes. And trying to get that arena put up as fast as they can so they can get out of there first chance they get. But I was surprised. I mean, I think a lot of people with Kawhi out, the Mavs have been playing really well down the stretch. But ultimately, defensively, the Mavs have been very shaky all season long, especially the beginning of the year. Kind of turned things around a little bit down the stretch, but really had no answer for the Clippers over the weekend.
File this one maybe for 5:30 when we go what's trending and look at other things, or maybe even a complete another day completely. Mm-hmm. I think J.J. Redick said it during that game yesterday. He said this. He didn't say the two best. He said this is a matchup of two of the great owners in the league, Cuban versus Ballmer. Is Cuban really that great still?
Well, I think great and marketable might be two different words, and that might
he'll tell you how great he is.
He will, and that might be what makes him more marketable.
And he will have plenty of obliging, kindly, courtly voices say how great he is.
Yeah.
And no question from what he bought it for to what it's worth, or what he already sold it for. Mm-hmm. And now he gets to run the show and have no skin in the game.
Yeah, which is that's
nice
a
great
feeling.
deal.
Sure is. That's interesting.
One title and not a lot of playoff success since that one title.
Mm-hmm.
Dirk, Luka.
Sure. Yeah, it's interesting.
Has he been great?
It's a good question.
All right, I'll ask it. Is he worthy of the Basketball Hall of Fame? That's greatness.
Jeez.
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Wow. Yeah, no. That answers JJ right there.
I don't know if we got to get back to it, but we will.
Forget filing away. No, you had the answer all ready to go. But, yeah, we'll come back to that either later today or another day because that is interesting. J.J. Redick always making the headlines. He knows how to do it. But let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we're going to talk some college basketball, some college football with David Cobb from CBS Sports.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like I couldn't do pull-ups, I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
Hey, Jason, my main man, Marshall, what's up over there at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike?
Well, Randy, we know that one size doesn't fit all at Gossett Volkswagen, so we've got a take-your-pick offer that covers all the bases.
Well, everybody I know, including me, loves choices. So, Jason, what do you got?
How about a 2024 Taos S, 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport? Take your pick for $279.99 a month. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports. Or get a brand new 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for only $33,988. And no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettVWMemphis.com.
That's Gossett Volkswagen on Covington Pike, where we're charging forward and charging less every day.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26,063. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31,363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25,506. Cross Sport RC 23,6449, MSRP 38,981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PL 695. Excludes stock final license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Napa Cafe celebrates 26 years in 2024. Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. Treat yourself tonight with a delightful dinner. Maybe start with an appetizer like our baked sweet peculiar peppers stuffed with goat cheese and mozzarella, finished with basil pistou, and move on to one of our cozy dishes like the double chocolate stout braised boneless beef short ribs with tonkatsu sauce and creamy mashed potatoes, or a fresh seafood dish like our pan-roasted ginger buttered sea bass with cilantro soy vinaigrette. I get hungry just talking about it. Don't forget about dessert, our famous sweet buttermilk pie with brown sugar sauce, or drink your dessert with one of our signature dessert cocktails, like the lemon cheesecake martini, lemony, icy, frothy, and dusted with graham cracker crumbs. Napa Cafe, open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. Come join us as we celebrate 26 years of Napa Cafe. We can't wait to serve you.
I think a lot about golf, and when I think golf, I think Miramichi. Did you know Miramichi Golf Course offers membership? It's a great way to play more golf for less out of pocket. Their memberships run for $300 a month plus tax, and that includes unlimited rounds and range balls, no extra card fees, priority tee time booking, and discounts in the pro shop. Oh, by the way, there's no initiation fee. Miramichi green fees, they'll allow you to choose the right rate at the right time on the right day for your needs. If morning tee times are more important, you can book up to 14 days ahead of time to reserve your spot. If rate is more important to you, there are discounted evening rates available that you can choose from. You'll find the lowest rates on Tuesday through Thursday afternoons. Sometimes you just need to escape the hustle and bustle of life. Miramichi Golf Course provides just the right place to solve that need. The name Miramichi means place of happy retreat. When you need a quiet, peaceful round of golf, please make your way to Miramichi.
Chris Price, it's so good to see you. And you have a new business?
Yes, Dave. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Have you noticed water stains on your ceiling? With storm season here, take a walk around your home or business and look up. Make sure there are no water stains signaling a leak prior to the heavy storms coming in. If you do see signs of water, call me. My team and I will come out, diagnose the problem, and prescribe a fix. Our team of Hague-certified inspectors are waiting to assist with any inspection or repairs you may need. We have 3 crews dedicated to repairing roofs in the Mid-South. As certified Owens Corning and Mule High dealers, we offer 20-year, no-dollar limit labor and material warranties that offer hassle-free ownership. That's our hassle-free ownership guarantee. Allow Metro Builders' team of professionals to assist you in maintaining your property's integrity and value. MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Your local commercial roof experts. Ask about our commercial roof maintenance agreements. Protect your investment with MetroBuildersMemphis.com. Call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717. 375-1717.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage. Forte RE 756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. The police department's been handling a situation for about 30 minutes now, maybe a little bit longer, on 240 westbound off-ramp at Walnut Grove. It's been slow for a while over there on 240 east as you work your way between Poplar and Walnut Grove as traffic increases through the Midtown area. Over here on I-40 at Chelsea, I-40 still looks good coming past Danny Thomas, going westbound I-40 across the Hernando de Soto Bridge back over into West Memphis. A Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64 is your Mother's Day headquarters. Go by and see them at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Joining Brian and Brett now on Sports Time is National College Football writer for CBS Sports, Memphis native and Tennessee grad, who you can find on Twitter X at David W. Cobb. It's David Cobb.
David Cobb joins us now on the Sissies Log Cabin guest line, talk some college basketball and college football. David, thanks so much for joining us, and plenty to get to with college basketball with all of the transfer portal news. I got to start with Duke, a team that right after, day after, maybe even night of national championship game, people were releasing them as the way too early preseason #1 team in the conference. But now that roster is having a lot of turnover, guys going to the draft, declaring for the draft, guys, and a ton of guys entering the transfer portal. Are you worried about what this Duke team will look like next year for John Shire, or are you pretty confident with what he has done in the portal, what he has done coaching, and bringing in a really good recruiting class highlighted by Cooper Flagg?
Let's see how it plays out with the way Duke finishes out this portal cycle. But I think it's fair to be a little skeptical of the way this roster is constructed right now. And in this day and time, the way that the way that relying on freshmen can backfire on you, I think there's some reason to be concerned about Duke if you're a fan of that program and looking to see them make the Final Four, because they built, first year under Shire, they made the second round. This past year, they made the Elite Eight. You look for them to take that next step. Well, I'm not sure the way to do that is with a whole bunch of freshmen playing key roles, and that's kind of what they're looking at right now. So I think for the rest of college basketball, everybody should kind of be excited about the way Duke's roster is coming together, because it's going to be a talented group, but I don't know that they're on track to have that mix just yet, because they're one of those schools that are going to struggle a little bit with getting in whoever they want to get in in terms of the academics and some of the requirements on that side. So it's like, and then how much NIL do they have to throw around, because they really spend a lot of that money getting these freshmen in. And then so you see them add Mason Gillis today. That's a good pickup from Purdue, but he's not like a major difference maker. So yeah, I'm curious to see how it plays out. If they can grab a couple more transfers, I'll feel a whole lot better. I mean, like good transfers, because they're going to get transfers. It's just how good are those guys going to be at a place like Duke?
David, what is the right mix? What's the right brew to have in roster composition?
I think it's 6 returners, 4 transfers, and 1 to 3 freshmen. If you're a power conference school, and let's talk about Memphis in those terms as well for the sake of basketball, with where that program has been historically, then I think that's kind of what you want. Now, obviously, getting 6 guys back, that's a lofty order in this day and time. But I think that would be the ideal mix. And if you can't get 6 back, then you need, I would say, at least 3 or 4 players back from previous year's roster. Mix that with 3, 4, 5 transfers, 6 transfers at the most, and then a couple of freshmen. So I think that's kind of what you're looking at. It should be about no more than a third freshman. I mean, that's for sure.
David, I've talked about it at senior days around college football when you have players lined up literally from one goal line to the other one, and they're getting the frame jerseys and they're a happy day for them, a lot of hard work. But a lot of those guys are senior. I mean, it's senior day, and they may be being honored next year at another senior day, and it may be the only year that they've been at your particular place. So football would be hard to do it, hard to quantify, but basketball would, because the roster sizes are so much smaller. And just pick any conference. I mean, you pick AAC, SEC, ACC, whatever conference, pick one. And I would love to know last year at senior night, how many were there in that conference, the whole conference, that signed and played 4 years and was honored at senior night?
Right. That percentage is so minuscule now. It's crazy. You often see guys who do their 4 years now, and then if they were around for that COVID year, they go and take their 5th somewhere else. I mean, so rare is it that you see guys go all 4 or all 5 years at the same school.
Could we say 0?
I mean, yeah, it's possible at some places, especially, I mean, obviously in basketball, that's common. That's I would say that's been the case many times. And you could even get into that realm in football at some schools, as crazy as that may seem. I think you're always probably in football going to have at least a handful. Think about like your specialists. I'm not saying the punter and the kicker don't transfer; they do. But like you got your long snapper and your backup offensive lineman, and sometimes those guys stick around. But Yeah, it's crazy. You think
Will
about
Riker did at Alabama. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I bet you Will Riker did. But in David, at your alma mater at Tennessee, there wasn't a dry eye in the stadium for Peyton Manning on his senior day. I mean, what he had done for him, and everybody knew what he had done, and the multiplier effect, what he done. Same at Ole Miss for Eli Manning, and that was 5 years for Eli on campus. It is just really a thing of the past.
Well, what about Arch? Is he going to go the distance at Texas? That's an interesting
Well, that's a good question.
conversation. Did you see what he? I mean, I know it's a spring game, so okay, but he was really good in that.
It was eye-popping. It was every throw.
I mean, to the extent that I'm willing to entertain the whole quarterback controversy conversation there, because, I mean, Quinn Ewers is an unbelievably talented player, but I'm not sure that Arch Manning isn't better. And think about this. If Arch Manning is the backup all season long, he's going to be draft eligible after the 25 season. He may only play and be the starter for 1 year at Texas. How that could really kind of end up being – there's a scenario where that ends up being an indictment or a black mark on Steve Sarkisian's record if Arch Manning turns out to be a Heisman Trophy caliber quarterback and he only plays 1 year at Texas. So, I mean, like Sarkisian really needs Quinn Ewers to perform this year in order to justify his depth chart there at quarterback.
And the last thing Sark wanted coming out of this is just even the whispering campaign of, should Arch really getting some playing time over Ewers? That's the last thing he wanted. And this is why you're seeing spring games turn into tug of war and hot dog eating contests because that player can have that game, and there's never been a bigger infatuation in the history of sport as it is with the backup quarterback.
And especially when he's got that last name. Can you
No
imagine?
kidding.
Most coaches, I was thinking about this, most coaches would kill to have one quarterback of Quinn Ewers' capability or one quarterback of Arch Manning's capability throughout their entire head coaching career. Just give me 3 years with a quarterback of that caliber. Most head coaches would give just about anything to have one quarterback like that during their entire head coaching career. Steve Sarkisian has two of them simultaneously. And, wow, what an embarrassment of riches there at the most important position for Texas. And that's why you're seeing the Longhorns projected as a playoff lock really around the country, even though they're moving into the SEC. And week to week, their life is going to be so much harder this year.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, speaking of football, David, I was at the Memphis spring game over the weekend, and while everyone was there to see the action on the field, see some of the new guys, one of the kind of big storylines there behind all of that was FedEx and what they're doing NIL-wise for the University of Memphis. You had both coach and AD talking about it at length while they were being interviewed. You had players doing on-field interviews, finishing their interview by saying, "Shout out FedEx." It became a big thing now that FedEx has has pledged $25 million over the next 5 years in NIL money for the University of Memphis. How big is this for Memphis? And I noticed it was not just a story here locally in Memphis. This was a story national. I see it's, y'all have a piece about it over on CBS Sports, Fox Sports, national radio were doing hits about it when it happened. How big is this in terms of college athletics?
I mean, it's huge. When you put a brand of that caliber so publicly behind the Memphis Athletic Department, that's massive. That makes a statement. And how about the news today, then, that Laird Beach is going to Missouri? It kind of softens the blow on that a little bit. Oh, we're losing our AD. Okay, well, we just got $25 million committed in NIL. So how much more attractive is the job now with the AD coming in and saying, okay, I know we're set. We're set from the NIL perspective. I mean, you're never comfortable. You're always raising funds, whatever. But you got $25 million committed from a massive, massive company like FedEx. That's a great place to start. And it would allow the next athletic director to just go full on in terms of whatever we got to do to be there when the ACC expands, or whatever we got to do when Brett Yormark and the Big 12 go hunting for a couple more. So I think that's probably the thing that stands out to me the most right now is how much more attractive the AD job is because of that commitment for FedEx.
David, I suggested when that news was breaking, and Brian and I were talking about it, that the University of Memphis maybe, and if they hire the traditional, guy or female that's worked on the way up in the development office and in the ticket office and in marketing and in game ops, that's fine. But I suggested maybe first thing I'd like to see is the president of the university have a blue ribbon committee and keep it small. Keep it compact where the rumors aren't that big. Very similar to how Alan Graff did it a time before, and how Brad Martin has done it a time or two before. Keep it really small, 1, 2, 3 person committee, but of names that everybody knows and they've got it in this community. Don't have anybody on a list that just wants to go to the meetings and handshake and kind of be all puffy about it. Well, I want workers, and then look at a composite, especially with these changing times in college athletics, of maybe not having that person that's that concerned and that akin to some of the non-revenue producing sports. You can find a lieutenant, you can find an assistant to run that. Really get somebody that can fundraise, have a handle on football and basketball, and in the Tigers' case, and in this case, on conference realignment, I would think way outside the box of somebody maybe existing right now in Memphis that's, that's the president of a bank or, president of a foundation or something.
Yeah, and if not that route, don't be afraid to hire a sitting group of 5 athletic director, because or look at somebody who's overseen a transition from one conference to the next. Look for somebody who's overseen a transition from FCS to FBS. Look for somebody who didn't necessarily come up through that traditional path, like you said. I mean, Laird Veach did some great things in Memphis, but he was always sort of in that mold, a power conference executive athletic director or a power conference associate athletic director. And, Memphis was sort of his first rodeo at a quote-unquote group of 5 school. I think it would actually maybe behoove Memphis to look for somebody who's overseen a transition before, be that from one level to the next or one conference to the next, because that's kind of what you're hoping to do. And if you have somebody with some comfort and experience in that, then I think that helps you. Or, like you mentioned, go outside the box. In this era, look at some of the conference commissioner hires that have been made. Tony Petitti came from a TV background. He's now the commissioner of the Big Ten.
Yormark was an agent.
Exactly. Brett Yormark was in the entertainment world. And then you look at out of the Pac-12, George Kliavkoff, he didn't work out. So, that's the wrong side of it. You get somebody in there from a different realm. They're in over their head. They don't know how to read the room. And that's how that can go wrong. But I love the idea of being creative and thinking outside the box. Don't just go and hire the executive associate athletic director at Arkansas or Ole Miss or whatever. I mean, you can think creatively here, and Memphis will be an attractive position.
David, I don't want to sound look. It's not my school, but I've lived and worked here all my life, and I'm very fond about it, and I want it to do well, and I want the conference realignment to finally swing their way. So when I say this, I don't want it to sound like I'm trying to be Captain Memphis or a nativist or, Mr. 901. But, David, I think I almost want somebody as the next AD that you don't have to teach the word to the fight song to.
That's fair. Go and look, over the last 10 to 15 years, there have been some high-level executives that have come through, the University of Memphis, and they have trees. You can find somebody from a Tom Bowen tree or a Ren Baker tree or something like that too. Somebody who might be out there whose name I don't have off the top of my head, but there have been some really successful programs at Memphis over the last 15 years, basketball, football, in particular. That there's a lot of folks who have had a hand in that, and some of those folks have gone on to do big things elsewhere in the business. So I think there's certainly, I would imagine, a decent pool of folks out there with connections and ties to Memphis.
Yeah, it'll definitely be interesting to see what they do. Talking to David Cobb from CBS Sports, covers college football and college basketball. All right, David, I want your thoughts on these three teams and what they've done in the transfer portal this offseason, basketball. So I guess I'll just frame it this way. Who have you been most impressive with out of these three teams? Indiana, Michigan, or Missouri?
Oh, Missouri stands out to me in a big way in
Mark
basketball.
Mitchell, crazy.
Yeah, that's a headliner. Mark Mitchell could be a really good player for Missouri. So you saw Missouri go 0-18 in the SEC.
0-19, David. They lost in Nashville, too.
People forget
You're
that.
right. You're right. And, wow, that was not expected after the way Dennis Gates performed in year one. He was awesome in year one. And then you just go and look at the caliber of player he brought in last year versus the caliber of player that he has on the way for next year, night and day. I mean, Missouri, it's night and day. With Mark Mitchell, they've got Jacob Cruz from UT Martin, who's one of the best three-point shooters in the portal. And the list goes on. Tony Perkins is another one who big-time contributor at Iowa for several years. He's the type of veteran difference maker in the backcourt that could really, win you a game in the NCAA tournament, that type of player. So I love this class. Oh, yeah, another one, Marquise Warwick out of Northern Kentucky. He was a all-Horizon League guy 4 years in a row. So they're getting guys that are proven, that are veterans. 23 years old. And then you throw a guy like Mark Mitchell in there with them whose ceiling is still NBA draft lottery range. That's how good Mark Mitchell is, how talented he is. I think Missouri is going to be a team in the top half of the SEC standings next season based off the group that Dennis Gates has gotten together. And that's impressive. When you're coming off of 0-18 in the league and you can still sell your program on the portal market like that, that's impressive.
David, I know I've asked you this already before leading into next year, but I love that. I may ask you 3 or 4 more times before it gets here. But you can be that embed. I think you said Texas. Now, you can be that embed and get in any room in the athletics department. Who would you like to cover between now and when college football ends next year? I'm at a real good spot. I don't get that kind of access at Ole Miss. Don't want it, and I sure don't get it. That would be a good one. And I think you said Texas before, and I said Oklahoma because they're both the newbies. And I would love to see Oklahoma's week-to-week reaction to all things SEC. What is yours? Was it Texas?
Yeah, they're a great choice with that quarterback situation, with some of the talent they have back, the expectations being so high, the caliber of schedule that they have to get through. Texas is a really good place to be a fly on the wall right now because the buzz is out of control. I mean, Texas is always something different, right, in terms of the interest and the just the prestige of it from the football side. And now you throw in that conference transition. You throw in a road game at Michigan early in the season. They get Georgia out of the chute, year one in the league. So, yeah, give me the Longhorns. I want to see kind of how that recipe all comes together because, boy, the expectations are through the roof. But the challenge that awaits them is monumental.
David, what'd you make over the weekend? I saw this on social media. I don't know if he was on live somewhere, or if this was just a video he put out, but Cormani McClain, the former 5-star recruit that spent last year at Colorado, he's now in the transfer portal, and there was a video of him talking about why he entered the transfer portal, his time at Colorado, and said that he wanted to go to a real program that could develop him. He didn't want to play for clicks, kind of throwing a lot of shots at Deion Sanders in Colorado. What did you make of that, and where do you see Cormani McClain landing? Where would be a good spot for him?
I mean, honestly, when I see that, I kind of think more about how Cormani McClain probably needs to mature and develop. Like, it's easy to take shots at Deion Sanders in Colorado. I mean, there's a lot that you can get into there just from the way he's choosing to build a roster and the legitimacy of where that thing is headed and what they're actually going to be able to do next season in the Big 12. But I would look at that and say, you know what, Cormani McClain is a talented kid, but man, he's got to get his house in order a little bit. And if you go and listen to some of the things that Deion Sanders said about him last year, a lot of it's just the maturation and the sort of the de-recruitment that I don't know that he was expecting. Because when you're that 5-star player, you've been told how great you are your entire life. You come into college, I don't care where you're playing or who you're playing for, reality kind of hits you in the face a little bit. And if you're not ready for that, it's not going to go well. And he wasn't quite ready for that. So don't want to write the guy off entirely after 1 year. But, he's got to go somewhere where he's willing to submit to the authority of the head coach and to the discipline of what's required to succeed at the FBS level. Because nowadays these guys get their payday so early that I think it can be tempting to let off the gas a little bit and not to really focus on what's going to get you to the NFL. Because if you get a high six-figure paycheck in NIL before you've ever played a down of college football, I mean, just think about how any of us would have reacted to that type of money at 18 or 19 years old. There's a demotivation with that. And it's natural. That's human instinct. When you get thrown a lot of money, type of money that you've never seen before, it can be hard to stay focused and locked in and future oriented. And he kind of needs to get some of that back if he's going to be the type of football player that a lot of people thought he was going to be.
Yeah, that's a really good point because, you're right. Last year it was a lot of he's not trying hard in class. He's not giving any effort in practice when we're getting ready for game week. So it does sound like, this is a kid that's come in and kind of let off the gas a little bit.
Yeah, and I don't think that one really falls on Deion.
Yeah.
A lot does. Sure, he's the head coach, and I'm sure he wished that one had worked out a little bit differently. But Cormani McClain, there's a Travis Hunter too, and I think people thought Cormani McClain was going to be a Travis Hunter type of player, but obviously, a lot of it falls on you when you get to college to keep yourself motivated and kind of be the player and the disciplined adult that you got to be to. I think, as Deion said, handle your business. Mm-hmm. I think that's the phrase he used with Cormani McClain, and maybe this failed marriage between him and Colorado will spark him to sort of be that guy at his next stop.
And I'm with you, David. I'm with Coach Prime on this one, and I think it's a real juggling act now for coaches going forward, and for people that don't think I can ever say a nice thing about John Calipari. Flag this tape. Here it comes. I said forever, the two best out there in two different sports were John Calipari and Nick Saban on letting that player know that recruitment is over. The work starts now.
Mm-hmm. That's right. So you're a highly touted player. You go to play for a program like that. You got to know the work is just beginning. And Saban, obviously, the best of all time, I think, in that respect, because not only did he get the talent, but he got the talent to perform once he got there. And that's an underrated part of being a coach, because it's always like, oh, it's just talent acquisition. It's just getting the best players. And that's true, but once you get them there, you got to coach them, and you got to have a culture in place. And that's where Colorado is a little bit lacking right now. They don't have that proven track record. Deion Sanders didn't have a proven track record of placing football players in the league. Right. He doesn't. He maybe had one or two that out of Jackson State who landed on an NFL roster for some period of time, but he doesn't have that culture, that track record of developing guys and putting them in the league. And it's going to be hard to develop that if all you're doing is going out there and working the portal. Because a lot of the guys Deion is getting in the portal aren't necessarily future NFL players. And so it's going to be hard to build a program when you don't have any internal development from your freshmen. And the way that he's recruiting, he's never going to have that. And so, it's going to be tough, I think, for Deion to have sustained success without any sort of a true freshman pipeline in the program.
Yeah. Well, David, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Monday.
All right, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
David Cobb with us every Monday talking college football and college basketball from CBS Sports, and he appeared on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. Hey, we all need to drive together, and let's all drive down to Olive Branch to All-Star Chevrolet. That's where the summer drive should start. And if you want to get charged up, come out to All-Star in Olive Branch, test drive one of the new EV Blazers, and I think you'll really, really love it. It's still Chevy truck season, and if you're ready for a new Silverado, all the Silverados with financing down to 2.9 for 72 months. And thousands in cash in trade. All-Star Chevrolet, first exit into Mississippi on Highway 78. When you get to Kraft Goodman Road, take that exit, and you're there. The new Equinox and Trailblazers with 1.9 financing. No payments for 90 days. Your good credit deserves it, and you get it at All-Star. You want something pre-owned? They've got it. Ram trucks, Tahoes, Jeeps, Suburbans, the Traverse with third-row seating. If it's not on the lot, ask Jeff, ask Kevin, ask Drew, ask any member of the All-Star team, and they can find it for you. Military, teachers, college students, first responders, healthcare workers. That covers a lot of people. You get an instant extra $500 bonus back. Where are you going for graduation, for Mother's Day, that first big summer road trip? Better yet, where are you driving? Remember, it's not South Haven, not Mount Moriah, Bartlett, or Collierville. It's got to be Olive Branch. Come on down to All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch today, or go to allstarautogroup.com.
Well, let's get to a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about what happened over the weekend in Major League Baseball. That's next on Sports Time.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, Mid-South! Discover your new ride at Gossett Kia on the Pike. You want it? We Gossett with 2024 Kia Forte LXS. 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. How about 2023 Kia EV6 Wind, rear-wheel drive, $249 a month. Plus, Gossett Kia's got 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369 a month. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And you'll always find peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. So stop what you're doing and call Bobby J, because he's ready to put you in a new Kia today. That's Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 650 acquisition P, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous, serving the official barbecue of the Memphis Grizzlies.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir, it's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get pre-season pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Looking for an engagement ring that'll really knock her socks off? You need to be at Genesis Diamonds.
It's such a privilege at Genesis Diamonds for us to work with the world's finest designers, to be able to offer brands like Tacori and Verragio, and we're excited to be able to give you something nobody else can.
Genesis Vice President David Cooper.
The craftsmanship, the detail, the quality, the individuality is bar none better than anything else.
Genesis has been selected as an exclusive provider for every top designer from New York and California, with over 4,000 rings to choose from. And if that's not enough, they can create something that's truly one of a kind.
We can custom craft you literally anything you can imagine. We have the capabilities to realize any dream you have. Things that other stores may call new, we've been doing for 3, 4, and even 5 years already.
So don't settle for a ring with a stale design or with inferior craftsmanship. Let Genesis help you get the look, the quality, and the value you deserve.
I'm David Cooper from Genesis Diamonds, and I'm excited to see you in our showroom.
On Poplar at Perkins Extended.
It's the Dodge Power Shot Day's last call, and that means it's time to get your best deal at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Feel exhilarated in 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4, $25,889 or $389 a month. And get yours before they're gone. 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, $29,969 or $459 a month. month. And during Ram Truck Month, get 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cab, $6,000 off MSRP, plus 0% for 72 months on select models. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 8.99%. Renegade Triple P 56,520. MSRP 31,095. Charger PH 651,421. MSRP 36,420. Ram RG 193,472. MSRP 65,925. AP offer at 72 months. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Approved credit. Dealer stock only.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. They're finishing up a couple of earlier accidents. Traffic's on the increase. Sam Cooper going outbound right at Highland and Perkins. 240 East is already bogged down over here as you try to work your way past Poplar. Just be aware of the slowdown. It already exists over here. It has been for the last hour or so as it cranks up even more through Midtown. On 240 going southbound over here at South Parkway. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry. They're located 7525 Highway 64. They are your Mother's Day headquarters. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, good slate of games tonight in Major League Baseball. It's a fun weekend of action, but we do have one game already final today, and there hasn't been many days over the last however many years that you could say it's a great day to be an Oakland Athletic. But today is one of those days as the A's improved to 9-14 with a 2-0 win over the Yankees. And the best part of this game was in the first inning when Aaron Boone got ejected, 2 batters into the game when he has an exchange. He's mad about something with the home plate umpire. Home plate umpire says, you say one more word and you're gone. Aaron Boone throws his hands up. He says, you know what? I'll be cool. I won't say anything. Gives him a thumbs up. Let's play ball. Guy sitting in the first row in the stands starts chirping the ump right
like
after.
Me at the Showboat game a few weeks ago.
Exactly like that. He starts chirping the ump. Ump turns over, takes his mask off again, looks at Boone and says, all right, you're gone. Boone's going, I didn't say anything. You told me not to say anything. I didn't say anything. That was a fan. He goes, I don't care. You're out. And got
wow.
I mean, it was great. It was beautiful.
Home plate umpire Hunter Wendelstedt, legendary umpire.
Yeah.
Dad was legendary. Harry Wendelstedt, legendary umpire. No hothead, nothing like that. Boy, Angel Hernandez is hard to watch, isn't he?
Yeah, he sure is.
You know what really makes me mad about him?
That you always know there's never really a game that you're watching and you go, oh, that's an ex-umpire. But when it's an Angel Hernandez game, you go, oh, Angel's behind the plate today.
And when he's home plate umpire, and the last out of the inning is a strikeout of that batter, how he spikes the ball back out to the mound for the. I mean,
yeah.
Angel, nobody paid to see you. Nobody. Just literally nobody paid to see you. Don't say your family because you got comp tickets for them through the umpires union.
That's right. Yeah. No, Angel likes to be he likes everybody to know that he's there, that he's working.
33-66, the crowd today on really early game at Yankee Stadium for the win of the year for the Oakland A's. I was hoping you were going to tell me the best thing about today's game is you had the A's plus about 230.
Oh, no, I did not have the A's today. I didn't have anything in that game. I was just watching. But a fun game for the A's. I thought pitching on both sides was really good. JP Sears, you never know what to expect from him.
A's are pitching.
And then their pitching's been really good. JP Sears was really, really good today, striking out 7, only giving up 3 hits. Rodon was fine on the other side, only giving up 1 hit in 7 innings. 4 strikeouts, did walk a pair of batters, though. But a late 2-run home run wins the game for Oakland, and they take the first one of the series. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, that was zip for a long time. A's get that win. A lot of games today and tonight, and still some more cold weather games. And I hope this week, as we start moving past that and into much milder, warmer weather for the boys of summer.
Yeah.
go back to when we started about 3:05.
Mm-hmm.
I would sincerely, I really meant, I don't think we hold Oliver Marmol to blame for this disaster that's unfolding. Cardinals may be fractionally better. Okay, instead of 71 and 91, 75 and 87,
Sure.
77 and 85,
Sure.
you know, something like that. But not 500, not win the division, not and really be out of it again this year from July 1 on.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to be talking the same thing. It's going to be an early exit and kind of, what am I watching this game for? I mean, it's other than I just love watching baseball and I love the Cardinals because I think it's going to be another really, really depressing season. But you're right. I mean, it's not Skip's fault. I mean, that's got to go higher up. That's got to go up to Mozeliak and some of the decisions he's made, some of the offseason moves or lack of moves that he has made. And so, I'll be honest, I hope we see a lot of changes this offseason from both the front office and maybe even the skipper.
And there's not anything at the farm.
Oh, no. Oh, absolutely not. I mean, there's a prospect here, a prospect here that can maybe do something. There's, you got a couple guys lower in Double-A, but you have nobody that, this guy could come up later in the season. Oh, get ready, this top, 20 guys about to be here. There's nothing. I mean, what they've got right now in the show is pretty much what they've got at all, really, throughout the whole system.
And the division's better than I thought it would be.
Better, yeah.
The division,
sure.
I think, might be pretty good.
Sure.
Pirates have tailed off a little. Cubs look like they could have staying power. We thought the Cubs had staying power last year, too.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Is still very early in the season. But, yeah, I mean, you look around, and right now, everybody else in the division, again, very early in the season, but everybody else in your division is 500 or better. And so, you saw the Pirates, even though, I don't know how much better they are better than they were last year. They're taking steps in the right direction. The Reds, with what that young group was last year, kind of getting more experience, have played well. Cubs, like you mentioned, playing really well. And the Brewers look really good this year. 14-6 right now, 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're playing really, really well, and get a sweep over the Cardinals. So this division is much better than it was last year. It's only going to get better, I think.
I'm trying to think of a chapter in Cardinals history back to 1892, where over 3 straight managerial hires, you swing and miss.
Yeah,
from
a lot of searching, I think.
Mike Matheny, Mike Shield, Oliver Marmol.
I think it'd be hard to find something like that.
I mean, not even the 70s had that. Yeah. And Brian, 75 on, 75, 6, 7, 8, 9, till Whitey was hard to watch.
Yeah, no, and I forgot what podcast it was. One of the more national baseball podcasts, maybe Fair Territory, had one of the Cardinals beat writers on this weekend for their podcast that I think dropped today. And the question that they put out on Twitter was, would you consider the Cardinals boring? And he was like, yeah, no, they're boring. They don't hit, they don't score runs. They're a boring team. I mean, what do you
When
say?
was the last home run?
Oh, jeez. I mean, I have no idea. There hadn't been
And
many.
we know hadn't been many. We know zip for Jordan Walker, right?
Yeah, still holding on to 0. But I mean, it's just
one Arenado, one for Paul Goldschmidt. That was opening day, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're
for Paul
around.
Goldschmidt.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We've got 2 guys leading the clubhouse right now with 3 home runs apiece. Nolan Gorman and Ivan Herrera are both.
And Gorman's batting.
Gorman is
210?
batting. Brett, that'd be great if he was batting 210. He's batting 169.
I-69.
There you go.
That's the interstate right down here in Mississippi, isn't it?
Sure is.
No, that's I-22. I'm sorry.
But you're not very
I-60. No, I-69 is the proposed interstate from Indianapolis to Houston.
Well, I don't think you want your batting average to be simpatico to that highway.
And Victor Scott sent out, and he should have been 085.
Yeah,
Is that right? 085.
Yeah, 085. He just wasn't ready at all. I didn't really. I know
Not
you
at
have
all.
to have a guy out
Shouldn't
there.
be asked to have done that.
No, I thought it was ridiculous that they even put him out there. I thought, and it has nothing to do against him. It's just he's not ready.
What if you have to send Jordan Walker back to Memphis this year?
No, I think that's almost worst case scenario for both him and just as a product.
For him to get on the Paul DeYoung train.
Yeah, you don't want that because you saw when he was struggling early last year and they made the decision to start him out here in Memphis, you could see when he first got here, his morale, his confidence was at complete bottom, and he just had zero confidence in himself, and it took him like a month or two here in Memphis to kind of get that confidence back, and I know they were working through his swing, they were doing a lot of different things. He gets that confidence, he goes, has a fine year last year in terms of kind of what he was. But yeah, really struggling this year. 164 right now. You mentioned 0 home runs with a lot of other guys. But I just don't think it would be good.
Very few extra base hits.
No, not a lot at all. You've got, it's just been, the team can't hit the ball. And that's Brett.
Can't hit at all.
I don't say that I'm the, philosopher of baseball, but when you can't hit, not a good game plan for winning games. It's just not very good.
Because it's the only team sport that you can't score directly on defense.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So, you got to have something.
So you really got to do something when you holding that lumber.
Got to. And, just has not been very good. Now, I will give credit.
I feared it. I feared it Friday.
No, you did, and I hadn't.
And I'm not waving full white flag yet. I'm not going to hoist white flag till I go in May against the Red Sox.
Yeah, well, but you did. Friday, you mentioned a couple times both on and off air of, I just don't have a good feeling about this weekend. I think they could get swept, and I was kind of holding out. Maybe they can take one, but by the end of that show, you had convinced me. I was like, yeah, I think they're going to get swept. And
Johnny, you know what I really fear, Johnny?
Yeah, what do you fear, Brett?
Between the golf picks and the Cardinals, Bryant blames the Cardinals on you.
Well,
really? I just get a lot of
blame. I feel it coming.
Nope, I haven't said that.
I feel it coming, Johnny.
I haven't said that, but that's a great idea.
Whoa!
Look, I won't doubt it.
I see the summer of discontent coming.
That's a great idea.
Brett, all I wanted was a great home and a great organization.
But
Brett,
I will say,
Brett convinced me to come, and I committed. Now I'm the problem.
Now look at the house.
Brett, I'm just saying, you brought this upon it, but I will say we were talking about.
See there, Johnny? I
see
was
that?
great,
Look, we were talking good weekend against the Dodgers to start the season. You
and think about that. I'm sorry, Brian.
No,
think
you're
about
good.
that. We were all over ourselves over losing 3 out of 4 to the Dodgers, and they've been very human since then.
They really have. That's a great point. They have.
And we were kind of puffy over losing 3 out of 4 to Shohei and the Dodgers.
Very competitive games, though, Brad. Very, very competitive. Sometimes it's not about the scoreboard. It's about what you do.
Bryant, one of the first signs of a college football loser, and I can remember a person doing it and goes, well, that's the best 5 and 6 team in the country.
Oh man,
you're
yeah.
5 and 6.
That's great. It's great. I love that.
You're a loser there.
Yes, no.
You're a loser. Well, it's a scrappy 4 and 8 team.
Sure.
Yeah, no,
That's
it's
right.
not.
That's right. No, it is not. But I will say, I think we were a lot more optimistic about this Cardinals team before Johnny declared that he was
a good friend of the show. A good friend of the show. I'll leave his name out to protect the innocent.
How about that?
Brian is gradually turning heel. In 2 weeks, he'll be hitting Johnny over the head with a steel chair.
Hey,
he changed on
He's
me,
going to
man.
go full wrestling.
Don't tempt me.
He's going to go full 1960 Union Studio wrestling on us, Johnny.
There's a lot of chairs around me, and
He going WWE on me, man.
Yeah, who knows? We'll just have to see
1960 Union, man, where the square circle was.
Well, we'll see.
When the grass was green and the blood was red.
Johnny, you better be praying for some Cardinal wins because I've heard a lot of good ideas this segment, blaming you and hitting you over the back with a chair.
What happened to my guy? He just became a hater, man.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, we need to get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
This is hard to believe, but the Hyundai Santa Fe is actually better? I know, that's crazy, isn't it? The 2024 Santa Fe is new, top to bottom, and even better than before. It's almost as big as the Palisade, so roomy, and now it's got a standard third row. Everybody's clamoring for that. And it's the best SUV when it comes to the ride than ever before. You know how with SUVs you love it because you're sitting high, but you don't get that luxury kind of ride like a sedan? You do with the 2024 Santa Fe. It's the best riding SUV ever, and it's quiet. It's the ultimate family car. All you've got to do to be sold is to test drive it. The people at Homer Skelton Hyundai are saying, come try it. You'll love it. Homer Skelton Hyundai, right at the corner of Highway 78 and Craft Road. First exit in Mississippi. Go see the ultimate SUV, the 2024 Santa Fe.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Hey Mid-South, get to Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Spring Sales Event and get thunderstruck with 43 MPG Highway and 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. We Gossett for $18,960 or $269 a month. Or hit the open road in your 2024 Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. We Gossett $28,350 or $379 a month. And adventure starts with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander SE. We Gossett $32,765 or $449 a month. Plus, every Gossett Mitsubishi comes with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. That's Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike, online 24/7 at memphismitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 84 months Mirage RH00 5921 MSRP 19460 Eclipse RZO 342,249 MSRP 29,350 Outlander RZO 43754 MSRP 33,765 includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695 excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Well, I have 2 big numbers today that both come together, and we'll see how the week goes, but I might pull a page out of Brett's big number playbook. Brett, a lot of times when there's a big event going on that week or something.
Very thematic.
Yes, and so I'm starting off this week.
I plead guilty.
It's I like it. I think it's great, and so I might be taking a page out. We'll see how this week goes, but I'm certainly going to start today with a NFL draft big number. So my first number, again, both these numbers go together. It's kind of the good and the bad of this specific prospect. My first big number is the number 0. My second big number is the number 4. Both of these numbers have to do with the projected, and I would say going to be number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams did not throw a single interception, so 0 interceptions on 3rd or 4th down at USC. That's 199 pass attempts. So in situations where, guy might be scrambling around trying to pick up that first down and make a hasty throw.
In a scramble.
Yeah, he did not throw a single interception on 3rd or 4th down in USC. That's really good. But on the other side, a lot of talk about how he holds the ball a little bit too much. 240 of his dropbacks the last 2 seasons lasted 4+ seconds. So not getting the ball out, and we know at the next level in the NFL, when that defensive line, those edges, those linebackers are bigger, faster, stronger, they're coming at you, and there's no way you can be holding the ball for 4+ seconds.
They're coming at you with really foul intent. I love him. I don't think the Bears can go wrong. How hard one real quick.
Okay.
Who plays longer, Justin Fields or Caleb Williams in the NFL? From this point on, who plays longer?
I'll say Caleb. Why not? I think with all the high hopes of what he could be, I think you're talking about a franchise piece and a guy that's going to want to play for a long time. So I'll go Caleb.
And I hope so. Yeah. I hope so for him. Draft's going to be fun Thursday night. Looking forward to it. My big number is 36. 30-point games this year in the NBA. Here's the people that's gone over 30 points this year.
Oh, jeez.
Jalen Brunson's done it 36 times.
Holy cow.
That's 4th. Number 1, SGA with OKC, 51 times. Luka 2 with 50. Giannis 3 with 43. Jalen Brunson 4 at 36. Joel Embiid 5th at 31. All 5 of these players prominently in the postseason. You got to have that magic maker. You got to have that guy that can really get it going. And on this date, I got this from New York Knicks game notes. Bet you didn't know I went to New York Knicks game notes every day.
How about that?
Got this from New York Knicks game notes. 40 years ago today, on this date, Bernard King, the great Tennessee Vol from New York City, went for 46 over the Pistons in a Knicks playoff game.
Wow.
And he was there Saturday, prominently seated on the front row.
Wow, that's 2 really good big numbers. Wow.
New York Knicks game notes, Bryant.
If you had asked me, Bryant, what did I do over the weekend? I would not have guessed New York Knicks game notes. So
it was early this morning.
Wow.
I was all the NBA game notes.
Wow.
I wish somebody would aggregate them like Ted Gange's done at College Press Box for college football game notes.
Unbelievable what he does. Makes it very easy.
Makes it really easy for really lazy people like me.
Yes, but I guess not the case in the NBA.
No, you gotta hunt for them.
Oh yeah, I believe that. It's a lot.
Really, you've got to be at that PR site on Twitter, and it goes straight to the game notes.
Sure, and you find a link there that kind of sends you to it. But 2 really good big numbers, and I'm excited about these games tonight in the NBA playoffs. I know we'll talk a lot about them, both in our next segment, 5:30 and probably 5:45, because I'm going to guess that at least one of us will beam to an NBA game tonight, but 76ers and Knicks in action again tonight, 6:30 on TNT. Should be fun. Well, speaking of the NBA, we need to get to a break and wrap up this hour, and when we come back, we're talking more NBA with DeMichael Cole, the Grizzlies beat writer for the Commercial Appeal.
As the seasons change, so does the need for reliable home comfort. It's time to turn to the experts with Choates, where your family's comfort is our top priority. Right now, Choates is making it easier than ever to upgrade your home's climate control with our exceptional Carrier systems. There's never been a better time to enhance your comfort. Select from incredibly low monthly payments, 36 months no interest financing, or choose our $1,650 Cool Cash rebate instead and lower the upfront cost on select Carrier systems. It's not just savings, it's cool cash in your pocket. Low monthly payments, no interest financing, or cool cash rebates? Whatever you choose, you're choosing quality, reliability, and the trusted service of Choates. Call us today at 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com to learn more about these incredible savings. But hurry, these deals are as fleeting as a cool breeze on a hot day. Choates, let our family serve your family.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Fiveash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Fiveash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
There's an institution in East Memphis that I love talking about. It's the Spirit Shop at 4848 Poplar Avenue, right down the street from Clark Tower, and it looks like a log cabin. It's been around Memphis since 1969 with a family-owned, friendly, knowledgeable sales staff that is just a wonderful place to go. I love going in and talking wine or bourbons, and they've got such great selection. So if you've not visited the Spirit Shop in a while, it's been remodeled. You'll love what you see when you need spirits. Tell Eddie Wollo said hello.
All 650 acquisition B, 30,000 miles per year, 20 cents excess mileage, Forte RE756 120, MSRP 22,320, EV6 P56 03393, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG5 1041, MSRP 37,935, includes all rebates and incentives, must finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details, offer valid through 4/30/2024, dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff Allen, what's happening over there at Gossett Kia South Mount Moriah Wonderland?
Randy, we are making magic on Mount Moriah. 2024 Kia Forte LXS 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 due at signing. 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month, and a 2024 Telluride LX front-wheel drive, $369. Both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease.
And 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9, and always get peace of mind with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia on Mount Moriah.
So get over there, Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah or KiaMountMoriah.com.
Yo, Mark, long time no see. You still down at Dyer's?
Man, I'm not down at Dyer's. I'm out at Collierville Historic Town Square.
When'd you move out there?
We've been out there for about 13 years. We've got the shops, the park, we got the train the kids like to play on.
You still cooking those burgers the old-fashioned way?
Man, we're still flattening out those hamburger balls on a slab of marble and skillet frying them the old-fashioned way like they've been doing for 100 years.
Dude, you still have those onion rings.
Man, they're fantastic. Hand-breaded, served up just right.
I loved those milkshakes. Please tell me you're still doing those.
Man, we are hand-dipping those shakes, putting them in the old glass in the shake tin, served the old-fashioned way.
You got any new items out there I need to know about?
We're just doing a lot of gourmet sandwiches. We've got farm-raised catfish straight out of the Delta. We've got some hot tamales from Pasquale's Tamales out of Helena, Arkansas.
Man, are they served in the husk?
What those guys like to say, they're so good, you'll suck the shuck.
Go see my buddy Mark at Dyer's Cafe in Collierville's historic town square.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It remains heavy over here on 240 East up by Poplar. Westbound on 240 at Walnut Grove. Moving better than it was 15-20 minutes ago. Traffic's on the increase even more. Trying to get across the bridge over here on I-40 westbound back over into West Memphis as it increases now on 55 headed south of Memphis down through South Haven into DeSoto County. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64 is your full-service family-owned jewelry store right here in the Memphis area. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios, and joining us now to talk some NBA and talk some Grizzlies. DeMichael Cole, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal, joins us now on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. DeMichael, thanks so much for joining us. It was a fun weekend watching all of these first games in the NBA playoffs. We'll get a handful of games tonight, 3 of them tonight. But I got to start by asking you, watching that Knicks game the other day, Isaiah Hartenstein, a name that you hear a lot of Memphis fans talking about as a guy that they want to see this front office go out and pursue to fill that center void. He only played 18 minutes in that game on Saturday against Philadelphia. Did not play in the closing minutes with Mitchell Robinson back for them. Mitchell Robinson played 30 minutes. Is this a guy that you could see Memphis pursuing in the offseason? Is this a guy that'd be a realistic option, or is this a guy that is going to ask for too much money in free agency, and Grizzlies fans should stop kind of wishing that he could come and be a Grizzly?
Yeah, it's definitely. Can you say the name again? Hartenstein.
Yeah.
I drew a blank real fast because I was
You're
thinking
good.
about different centers while you said his name. But yeah, I think he can be. And it's one of those situations where if you look at Isaiah Hartenstein, he's on one of those rosters, which we've talked about in the past. If you're looking at realistic center options for the Grizzlies, you're talking about teams that have, a lot of depth at center that, quite frankly, just aren't going to pay multiple guys, a lot of money, because the value in the center position isn't there unless you're, Jokic and B and these anomaly type players, Rudy Gobert, whatever the case may be. Isaiah Hartenstein really good at what he does. His playmaking, ticked up this year, averaging 2.5 assists. We know the rebounds, the scoring, and he's still starting. Like you mentioned, the 18 minutes played, but he's pretty much a reserve, even though he's starting right now. I know before that he was playing 30 minutes regularly. But Mitchell Robinson is the guy, I think, as it comes to with the Knicks. So that makes him expendable. And he is someone, I think, the Grizzlies, we'll see what the numbers looking like. Because I think, with Memphis situation, if you're talking about going just to get him free agency, it's more than likely going to be a sign and trade type of situation. And with the Grizzlies closing in on that first apron, that's the thing that has to be discussed, where, the Grizzlies have to send out 125% of salary and only can get 110% back as a part of being a first apron team, in attack. So that's one of those, type of, I guess you call it, limitations that you would experience. So from that perspective, he's going to be a tough guy to get unless you can just convince him to take like a mid-level exception or whatever the case may be. So he's going to be a tough player to get because of the cap situation, but he just makes so much sense, for the type of center, the type of role that this team needs.
DeMichael, you don't think in any way this front office is feeling a little burned, jaded by the draft route, do you?
I think that's a fair way of putting it, somewhere in the middle there, because at the end of the day, they don't know what they're going to do yet. They aren't hard pressed either way. They're not set on keeping this pick, but they're also not set on trading the pick. I think once we get to May, that draft lottery gets here, that's going to be very revealing. I feel like if it's a top 5 selection, that leads me more to believe that the Grizzlies would keep it. Whereas if it's below the top 5, well, really top 4, I don't have to say top 5, because right now, with the projected to be at 7, you either jump into the top 4 or you move from 7 and back, I believe. So with that being the case, I think, it's very realistic that if they're drafting 7, 8, or 9, they'll be looking for a trade partner.
Yeah. Over the weekend, we got news Yuta Watanabe declined his option. It sounds like he wants to go back to Japan and play over there, be closer to his family. What does this mean for the Grizzlies and now kind of have that roster spot to play with?
Yeah, it's huge. Well, for one, let's start with just, Yuta was, there was a reason they got him back in the trade and they kept him. They felt there was some value there. But all things considered, the Grizzlies, they just have too many wings. We talked about this before as well. Like, they got too many. I think Yuta's the first one we've seen that's going to go, in a different direction than playing with the Grizzlies, and he's not going to be the last. in my opinion. Like the log jam there, I think you're talking about the Wings taking up 8-9 roster spots. And if you look at the past couple Grizzlies teams, I think it was 7 last season, and then it was 6, guys who kind of had that wing label the year before that. And granted, wings are so versatile, interchangeable. Most of them can play the 2, the 3, the 4 in today's league of quote-unquote positionless basketball. But at the same time, you kind of limit, what the options that you could have at center, the options you could have at point guard when you invest so much at that spot. So that's one reason why I think Yuta, declining his option makes perfect sense both ways. He wasn't going to play here. And from the Grizzlies side, you get that extra roster spot. So that goes back to the conversation about the draft and trades and whatnot. So, like the center spot, it felt like in a way that they'd either have to address it through the draft or through free agency. Now, if you got a couple roster spots to play with, because I still think they could potentially open up another or so. Now you got a couple roster spots to play with. You could double down, in my opinion. You could say, hey, let's go get one of these bigs who's, super physical veteran, probably someone over 30 years old that we can get 1 year on a nice minimum contract and be valuable to us. And let's just take a swing on one of these top, center type prospects. And, if it doesn't work out his rookie year, let's, develop him and hope he comes back in year 2 and works out just fine. So I think now you're afforded the ability to potentially double down, if you want to. If you say, hey, we want to double up on centers to make sure we got the right guy to play alongside of Jaren, Brandon Clark, and that group, you have that option. So more than anything, it gives you optionality, and I think that's what Memphis needs right now.
DeMichael Cole, our guest with the commercial appeal on all things Grizzlies. He's on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. And DeMichael, I'm correct that draft lottery night is Sunday night, May 12th. Is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
That's new, isn't it? That used to be. It usually was a Tuesday night, kind of at halftime or between games of a playoff game. Correct?
I do remember it being in between, playoff games. I don't know if it was Tuesday night, but yeah, it did stand out to me that it's on that Sunday. But I will say it's right before the combine too. So that's the 12th, and then the combine workouts will start on the 13th, in pretty much the same city. So everyone will kind of be out there, and a lot of scouts, Grizzlies people will be on hand, and they'll get a chance to look at some potential, set up some interviews with potential future Grizzlies players.
Interesting. I'm curious. We've heard so much, really, since Derrick Rose joined this team about him and Ja Morant and kind of their relationship building. You wrote a story about Derrick Rose and his son, or at least there's a story. You wrote the story on the commercial appeal about Derrick Rose and his son now playing for Ja Morant's AAU team, which is interesting. First time I learned about it was at exit interviews. What is that relationship like between Derrick Rose and Ja Morant, and kind of moving forward? How much does that play into the Grizzlies' decisions?
Yeah, so it's two ways to look at it. You got to look at it from both of the guys' perspectives because they both got different perspectives. But the simple way to put it is that it's growing. And from the Derrick Rose seat, you got to think about it. He comes to Memphis, and I mean everybody know a big part of Derrick Rose coming to Memphis was the fact to not just be around the Grizzlies from a mentorship perspective, but it was more so for Ja Morant. Mm-hmm. I mean, his locker was put right beside Ja Morant, not beside any other player. And we saw Ja Morant's first game of the season in New Orleans. Who did he walk in the arena with? He walked in with Derrick Rose. Side by side, cameras all around both of them as they walked in. So, I think from Derrick Rose perspective, like he wants to be real intentional with that. Like it's easy to force it, because I'm sure he knows like that's kind of part of the reason Memphis brought him here. And like I said, the locker's right there. Like it's easy to just force it, but Derrick Rose is very organic with it. He doesn't put too much pressure. Like you mentioned the story that I wrote. Even in the story, he's talking about how his son just constantly asking him like, "I want to play for Ja's AAU team." And he's like, man, hold up. Like, I don't want to invade his personal space which you might hear that and say, what? Like, you're a professional basketball player, you see him every day, you know, but that's Derrick Rose's approach for you. But Ja, it's a little bit different because Ja's one of those kids who watched Derrick Rose, you know, growing up. So it's a respectful big brother type thing. Like, if Derrick Rose says it, I always say that he's one of the few people, you know, that Ja can't say, you know, you ain't did what I've done. You don't know what you're talking about because you haven't been in my shoes from that perspective. Like, Derrick Rose has taken all the heat. You know, he's had the season-ending injuries. You know, he's had the long playoff runs and been blamed for losses and things like that. Derrick Rose has dealt, you know, with all of those things. So he can be that listening ear for Ja, and Ja is very respectful of that up to this point. So, I mean, and the last thing I would say on that is you got to keep in mind that when it comes to mentorship and Ja, like, he's not just openly talking to a lot of these NBA guys. Despite a lot of them wanting to talk to him and reaching out to him, Ja's not making he's not, you know, super friendly, I guess is the best way to put it, with a lot of NBA guys. So having, you know, Derrick Rose on his team, I think gives him that perspective a lot.
Derrick Rose has really been through the battles, the NBA wars, hasn't he, DeMichael?
Oh, for sure.
He's been in the spotlight since he was 16 years old.
I was going to say, I mean, shoot, you could go back to Simeon High School, and he's wearing the number 25 that carries so much legacy there. And
sure.
And then, you know, he comes to University of Memphis and
for Ben Wilson, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're beating the socks off of every team, you know, that they go, and they go to the national championship game. Before that, you're beating Russell Westbrook, you know, and other, you know, top potential top picks that season, and you know, of course, but again, he dealt with, you know, a lot of off the court things, you know, and I mean, he's made it to this point, you know, as far as, you know, everything he's dealt with, you know, having the sponsorship, the branding, and all of that, to, you know, while getting through, you know, all those mishaps and whatnot. That's something that Ja really could learn from.
DeMichael, the Ben Wilson story then in the day, everybody knew of him. You know, recruiting wasn't covered like it is now, but you knew that something special was coming out of Chicago, and he was going places. You know, that was in high school when he was slain. Right up there with what happened to Lynn Bias on draft night. Just about the two saddest things ever in the sport of basketball.
Man, Benji Wilson, yeah, I seen it, the 30 for 30 on him as well, and it kind of just made me read about it more. And I actually, when I was in Philly, I did a story on, it was a player from Chicago, and he played for Temple. He played against Memphis. His name was Jeremiah Williams, and he wore the number 25 at Temple. And just from him from being Chicago, you know, I just randomly approached him about it one day. I said, You went to Simeon, huh? And,
That's correct.
And you know, I knew why he wore it. So that number has a lot of significance. But yeah, you can make the argument that, you know, maybe up there between Jabari Parker and Derrick Rose. But I mean, I think it's Derrick Rose. But since Benji Wilson, he has been the most notable player to wear that number at that time.
Yeah, and you know, Nick Anderson wore it at Illinois, and Jabari Parker's dad, Sonny Parker, was high school playground legend in Chicago a long time ago. DeMichael, how much does Derrick Rose have left in the tank? I asked that because on opening night, I'm sitting at a Grizzlies game by a friend of mine, and we were just talking about the season ahead, and I said, how many games played at the end of the year for Derrick Rose? And this person said 60. I said, not a prayer, 29. He played in 24.
60 is that's when you get into the off season and you know, you start to get real hopeful and you start saying, oh, well, you know, maybe this happened last season, but it won't happen again. Yeah, I don't see 60 happen. But I will say this. I think that when the rest of the team is healthy, there's a more suitable role to be had for Derrick Rose. Like,
and manage minutes.
Yeah, to manage the minutes. Derrick Rose started 7 games. He only played in 24, but he started 7 of them. We didn't expect that to happen.
Right.
Like, 7 of 24 games, so he basically, you know, a little less than a third of the games he played, he started. And on top of that, you know, there was times he was coming back from injuries and he would get re-injured, and then he'd come back and start. And we never saw him through those 24 games. Derrick Rose didn't have a stretch this season where he played more than 5 consecutive games. But let's say the team is fully healthy and you got, John Morant, you got Marcus Smart, you got Desmond Bain, you got Scottie Pippen Jr., you got a bunch of guys who are capable of playing, those roles, and you can see a situation where Derrick Rose, his minutes are managed a little bit better, and it allows him to, when he's having some of that soreness, okay, yeah, you can miss, the third game in a matter of 4 days or whatever the case may be. And that's that, because I do believe, like when we saw Fresh, do you remember in the preseason, that first performance he had, and everyone was, oh, wow, Derrick Rose still has something in the tank. Like, there's still some stuff there. Like, he's super cat quick, man. Like, the players, I'm telling you, they were telling me about in practice when they first seen Derrick Rose, how he's crossing them over, and they're like, man, we didn't know he was still that quick. Like, there's still something left in the tank there. You got to manage it. You got to manage him over the course of the season, and being able to do that is going to come down to the availability of those other guys. Scottie Pippen Jr., Marcus Smart, John Morant.
Yeah. Talking to DeMichael Cole, the Grizzlies beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. Looking at the NBA playoffs, what first-round matchup are you kind of the most intrigued about?
Oh, boy. Yes. First, you got to go to the Western Conference. No disrespect to the East, but I think you can name about all 4 matchups.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
Before you think about what's going on over there. But, man, the one that stands out, from a competitive standpoint, like entertainment standpoint, it's going to be Nuggets-Lakers from an entertainment standpoint to me. Like, I like that one. But that Mavs-Clippers series, just think about how big of a swing this is. And I don't want to talk too long on this point, so catch me if I talk too long. But one thing I don't like, sometimes that we tend to do in sports is the in-the-moment overreaction. And this series is the perfect chance for one of these franchises to overreact to whatever happens. Because to me, these are 2 teams that, honestly, the winner, I would not be surprised if the Oklahoma City wins, their first round series, which is another tough one against the Pelicans. I wouldn't be surprised for either one of them to go to the Western Conference Final, to beat, Oklahoma City. The Mavs can go in a series against the Thunder and say, we feel like Luka's the best player on the floor. You got Shea, but we feel like we got the better player. The Clippers, man for man, they can throw several defenders at, Jalen Williams and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and so forth. So that series, as a first-round series, 4-5 matchup, 2 teams with a lot on the line, right? Like, this is second year of this whole Luka-Kyrie dynamic, and it's supposed to be working better right now. You just made these trades. The Clippers, you're going into a new arena, but Paul George hasn't resigned yet. Like, that's the big elephant in the room. Kawhi Leonard resigned, but Paul George, it feels like he wants to see how this thing plays out before he commits himself long-term. So this one has big implications on, like, I'm thinking, like, with the Lakers and Nuggets series, Lakers might make a couple moves here, a couple moves there, but that team's still going to be built around Anthony Davis and LeBron James at the end of the season. This Clippers team, who knows what happens to them if they lose? And the Mavs, who knows how, they respond, if they lose that series.
DeMichael, I mostly close to entirely agree with you. I would just add this, though. We know how great Kyrie Irving is, and he got there with the one with LeBron in Cleveland. But we also know there's not been a lot of postseason success after that, or before that even. Something always catches him in the postseason. Either he doesn't get there or his team doesn't do very well. I equate it to he's almost like Mike Trout in baseball. We know they're great, but we don't ever see them in the postseason for long.
Yeah. That's a decent comparison. I think especially when you go post this championship year since 2016. Yeah, that's the case. Because most people won't even remember Kyrie in Boston in the playoffs. Like is there a specific memory that comes to mind?
Well, how bad it ended, and everybody going at each other, fans against him and him against the fans.
Exactly. But as far as there's no the sidestep against Steph Curry, in the finals. Like there's no moment like that when he was in Brooklyn. There's no moment like that when he was in Boston. And we know the skill and things like that you kind of just alluded to a little bit. So this is a big series, like for Kyrie Irving too, because it's funny how, part of him leaving Cleveland and whatnot was about how it seemed like he didn't want his legacy so attached to LeBron James's. And he felt like he was the guy. And I remember, the little side comments he threw, like when him and Kevin Durant first played together. He said, this is going to be the first time I'm playing with someone I can say, that guy can take the shot at the end of the game too. But now, he hasn't done much since leaving LeBron, and he's playing with Luka now. So this is, this series. The reason I say I don't like overreactions is when I started, because no matter what happens in this series, there's going to be a big overreaction. So whether it's the Mavs or the Clippers, and that's what makes that the best series to me.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. It's a lot of fun ones, but that one's definitely up there. Three games tonight: Magic, Cavs, 76ers, Knicks, and then Lakers, Nuggets. I think all three are going to be really, really intriguing later tonight. But DeMichael, as always, a ton of fun having you on. Enjoy your week, and we'll do it again next Monday.
All right, take care, guys. Appreciate you.
Thanks, DeMichael. DeMichael Cole joining us, the beat writer for the Memphis Grizzlies over at the Commercial Appeal. Join us to talk Grizzlies and the NBA playoffs.
Kyrie in the postseason. Now, I know we're cutting it down, and I don't want people to have amnesia about the title, but as we said, as DeMichael reiterated, and as I said, since that title, it's very Mike Trout, isn't it?
Yeah, no, I thought that was a really good comparison, because I think everyone would acknowledge Mike Trout is one of the best players in the game.
Almost went Ken Griffey from yesteryear, Ken Griffey Jr.
That's a good one as well. But, those guys, there's a type of player that you acknowledge is a great player, one of the best in the game, but they either cannot get to the playoffs, or when they get to the playoffs, they're not staying very long. And I definitely think Kyrie is certainly in that category.
All right, Trout's the baseball example, and
Sure.
Unlike Kyrie Irving, he doesn't have 10 postseason at bats, practically, much less winning one. Who's the NFL guy that's Joe Thomas was forever playing with the Browns. He was on such bad teams. I don't know who would kind of get that label right now, currently in the NFL. He wins a lot. Matt Stafford was it in Detroit.
Yeah,
he was.
Maybe like Josh Allen. I don't know.
Allen's getting close.
He's getting close. I don't know if he's there yet, but certainly.
Justin Herbert, not yet. No,
I
can't think.
Kirk Cousins, he's not flashy enough. He's not good enough. We don't need to mention him with Kyrie and Mike Trout and Ken Griffey Jr.
No. Yeah. Keep him away from those names. That's a good question. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head for the NFL.
Is it Dak?
Hey, could be.
I don't know if he's had enough success to be with those guys, but
I don't know if he's good enough to be mentioning that.
No, but I want one of y'all to say that, because I don't want to be the fan that just is.
We want you planning that parade route, don't we, Johnny?
Well,
man, we know how this is gonna end.
I'm gonna need
me
to see
and
what
you,
they do
Comfort and Bryant.
We'll be there though, won't we? Yeah. We'll be there.
Hey, if you have the tissues, I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Do you think I leave home without the tissue?
Well, we'll see. I'm sure by Friday, we'll start Friday's show by me saying, oh, man, best draft pick of the night. The Cowboys, they've got their guy. And, just wait. Super Bowl next year. He was the missing piece.
Brian, is it me or the Cowboys? They're not at that draft level of they need everything. They're not there. But they need a lot.
They need a lot. They need a big draft, and they just have not had one. The past couple of drafts, Michael Parsons was huge. CeeDee Lamb was huge, but there have been a couple of draft picks that were supposed to pan out that just really haven't been anything.
We got to hit a break because, boy, do we have Tiger basketball news.
Talk about not seeing that one coming.
We had a caller say it could be Derrick Henry.
Oh. Could be Derrick Henry.
That's really good.
That's a really good one.
Yeah.
Thank you, caller.
That is a really good one. But Derrick Henry definitely could be.
Hey, because it kind of do make sense.
Yeah.
It could be.
Definitely
Postseason resume is pretty void.
Pretty void, but certainly I think everyone would consider one of the best players in the
NFL. I'm guilty of it. I started it with DeMichael.
Mm-hmm.
This is not entirely fair to Kyrie because he has a title.
Sure, that's right.
Derrick Henry has none. Dak Prescott has none. Mike Trout has none. Ken Griffey had none.
What about Lamar?
I wouldn't put Lamar in there.
You could. You could think about it. That's a
Close,
thought.
Johnny.
I don't know.
But we're doing it. But we're still doing it. Kyrie's got a big old ring.
Yes, he can come out and flash that ring at us when those others can't. But no, Brett, you mentioned it. Massive news for Tiger basketball. Tyrese Hunter, the transfer, has been in the portal after spending the last 2 years at Texas. He is committed to the Tigers, so a massive, massive, massive pickup for Penny Hardaway and his staff. Let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we'll talk all about Tyrese Hunter and his commitment to the Tigers. That's next on Sports Time.
You already know you can listen to Sports 56 anywhere with the Sports 56 app or at sports56whbq.com. But you can also watch us daily with live video of all of our shows on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.
We're here with David Cooper, Vice President of Genesis Diamonds. David, we're familiar with iconic brands. Are there designers for engagement rings?
Absolutely. Like every other industry, there are 10 renowned bridal designers who have been leading the industry for years. They are trusted, respected, and exclusive. Every jewelry store wishes to have them.
So what makes these designer engagement rings so desirable?
These designers drive a surge of customers to the store, making it the place to be. They attract shoppers who value quality, sophistication, and the ability to express their individuality through their engagement ring.
Can customers find these engagement rings in other stores?
Absolutely not. Other stores would love to have them, but they didn't make the cut. They have to settle for what they can get, not what they wish to have.
So Genesis has cornered the market.
Certainly. We offer a world-class exclusive selection from $1,900 complete rings to $250,000 celebrity rings. Best bridal designers in the world create these one-of-a-kind rings specifically to showcase your individuality like no other ring.
Genesis Diamonds, Poplar at Perkins Extended.
It's time to get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, where we're celebrating the 75th anniversary sales event, and it's time you got your new V-Dub on. Get ready to take your pick of 2024 Taos S, or 2024 Tiguan S, or 2024 Jetta Sport. Your choice, $279.99 a month. Pick the right Volkswagen for you at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Sports. Or get 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for $33,988. So get it done and be ready to ride at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road. Online, GossettVWG.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 36 month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 236449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax on license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a Colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Are you aware? It's patio season. Family Leisure sure is. That's why they have factory direct pricing on swimming pools, spas, and even, yes, patio furniture. Yes, sir. It's indeed patio season. So come by Family Leisure and check out all the brand new 2024 patio furniture sets. And with patio season here, you know that pool season will be here before you even know it. So buy now to get in line for your pool installation and get preseason in pricing. Plus, you could save $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, even up to $5,000 on all spas and swim spas. Family Leisure has got special pricing on all in-stock saunas, theater seating, pool tables, and even outdoor kitchens. I love it when it's patio season because of all the fantastic deals that Family Leisure makes available just for you. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we got about 30 minutes left in today's show. And the big news right now in the city of Memphis, Tyrese Hunter, the 6-foot guard that has spent the last 2 years at the University of Texas, started his career at Iowa State where he played Penny Hardaway and the Tigers. He entered the transfer portal about a week ago, but he just committed in the last 30 minutes to Penny Hardaway, Rick Stansberry, the rest of that staff, and the University of Memphis. A massive pickup for this Tiger staff.
It is. Is it the biggest portal player in the Penny years? Is it bigger than Kendrick?
I don't know if it's bigger than Kendrick.
Because we knew what Kendrick had done.
Sure, I think you knew what
do
Kendrick
and
done. Kendrick was the number one transfer portal
It's huge,
player, but it's massive. And what he brings.
All right, maybe it's second.
Sure, but hey,
at worst, it's second. Isn't
sure,
it?
yes, it is. It is definitely top two. I think what he brings, not only from a scoring stance, I mean he can light it up, but also defensively, very good defensively, and that's something that Penny Hardaway's team really struggled with last year. And so now you bring in a guard that I think, from all accounts, what I've read, what I've heard over the last couple of years, really kind of wants to start it defensively and then kind of take that energy from coming up with stops and use that to fuel him offensively. I think a massive pickup.
I don't know who his final list was, but you know Chris Beard had to be in the mix for Hunter.
Sure, yeah. A lot of big names in there, I'm pretty sure.
And plenty of offers, and that's a big one.
Yeah, no, it's huge, and so now
I like what's been done.
I do too. I think you gotta switch gears now if you are Penny Hardaway and this staff, and start kind of looking at the big men, because I think right now you've done enough. PJ Haggerty, now Tyrese Hunter, Colby Rogers. You've brought in plenty of guys in the backcourt. You look in the front court. You got Nicholas Jourdain coming back. Dane Danger you've brought in. I think you need to really go out and get some big men. You really kind of need a bigger guard that you can throw at the three alongside these guys. But definitely to start out, when you look at Dane Danger, PJ Haggerty, Colby Rogers, and now Tyrese Hunter, there's no question this staff has done an unbelievable job in the portal.
What's your gut feeling on David Jones?
I think it's more likely that he does not come back. I don't know. I have no information one way or the other, but it's just a feeling.
I just said gut.
I don't think he's back next year.
I wonder if the staff thinks that in their dealing around it.
It's certainly, I think the more type of players like this that come in, and obviously two completely different players, this is definitely a guard that's going to handle the ball.
Because if he's coming back, we're about one more offensive addition away from having one of my favorite / least favorite offseason discussions of
only one ball.
One ball.
That's right.
One ball,
right.
Brian. One ball.
Hey, that's a really good point, because that's kind of what I thought about when I saw the Tyrese Hunter news. You're bringing in a guy like PJ Haggerty that averaged over 20 points a game last year. You're bringing in Colby Rogers that was a big-time scorer for Wichita State. And now you're bringing in Tyrese Hunter, who averaged about 11, 12 points a game, but would go out there and have 30-point games, 25-point games, was a big-time scorer, a starter for that Texas team last year. So I'm with you. I think that seeing that kind of even made me kind of say, ooh, this might kind of go against the idea of bringing David Jones back. I do think it's still a big possibility he comes back, but just kind of gut feeling. I think what Penny Hardaway said late in the season of, 60-40, 70-30, he comes back, I would say we're now probably, in my mind, probably 60-40 he doesn't come back.
Do you think the Tigers are at all in play for Billy Richmond now that he's reopened?
I don't think so. I think until I see one of those guys commit somewhere other than Arkansas, and none of them have committed, but until I see one of them commit somewhere else, I'm just going to default and say they're all going to follow him to Arkansas. And that certainly could change and probably will change. But right now, my default answer is they're all going to Arkansas.
The Arkansas roster by this Friday will look very different than it does right now.
Sure, absolutely. And that's just how fast all of this stuff moves. And I think a lot of those guys are going to start making their decisions. Those guys that were committed to him at Kentucky, I think a lot of them will follow. Maybe not all of them, but I think he gets 90% of them,
And it's simple timing. There's deadlines out there, and there's shutting down wherever you are and getting to new place and opening place to live.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I've seen a lot of
school secondary, but that's everywhere.
Yeah, it's there. Who needs school? But I've seen a lot of people, media members in Arkansas that cover the Razorbacks, and they're kind of trying to say, hey, everybody calm down. I think, I know everybody thought that he was going to have a full roster by now, but, let the guy get used to his office and used to, where he's going to park and kind of the new day-to-day life being at Arkansas. Those commitments are going to come, and you're right. I think we see a lot of them this week.
I wish I had saved it, yesterday's Sunday Arkansas Democrat Gazette. That yes, I still buy a hard copy.
How about
that? They had the big story kind of behind the scenes of those 72 hours from out of play to in play to getting John Calipari, and they've got their story down, and I that's fine. But Johnny Tyson was quoted as saying, "Well, he goes way back with John Calipari, and they've got a good friend that's very active in the sports world." No name. And I when I'm reading it, I'm screaming, yeah, World Wide West, he has a name.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Everybody knows that.
Sure.
Just say it.
Yeah, no, everybody knows that. But hey,
But they've convinced themselves.
Sure.
I was just in Phoenix and ran into him. Say, hey, I need you to talk to my AD. And
that's right.
Load of malarkey.
Well, that's my favorite part of the whole thing. Of it was just, it was kind of floated out there of, they just bumped into each other and, just kind of floated the idea out there. Would you ever think of changing?
If we had an opening.
Yeah, what do you think? And no, that's definitely not how it went down.
I guess if you say it often enough, you'll believe it.
Sure, if that's the story you want to go with.
Whatever, they got a good coach.
Sure.
Hunter nailed it.
Absolutely. 100% nailed it, and now we'll see what happens. Baseball's looking good, and then it'll be football season. And
I think I've asked
this.
Season. I'm sorry. I get old. When you get old, you get repetitive. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Who got the better coach, USC or Arkansas?
Oh, man. I don't know if you have answered this question. I'll say Arkansas got the better coach.
I don't think there's any doubt.
Yeah.
But we know who's had better success lately.
Sure.
In what defines you and has. I'm sorry, I didn't make the rules, but Eric Musselman has gone a lot deeper lately.
He has, and I do think,
and it's really lately.
It has, but I do think, both will have success. I think Musselman getting back to the West Coast and, at a brand like USC will definitely, not saying, anything bad about Arkansas. It's certainly a massive brand, but he's more comfortable on the West Coast. I think he'll have a lot of success at USC.
He wanted UCLA.
Yeah, literally.
If Mick Cronin doesn't have that buyout, then Rob Lanier never sets off that chain of events.
What a change of events that was. I mean,
historic.
Well,
will be studied in 100 years.
Well, I mean, heck, Brett, when we at this time at 5:40 on, I don't know what the calendar looks like this year, but on December 29th, December 30th, when we're doing, or January 1st, 2025, when we're doing who was
top stories,
the biggest story of the year, it's going to be this chain of event that got John Calipari to Arkansas. That will be number one, at least for me. I know it will be.
Brian, when we do our top five for first half of 2024, that's going to be here before you know it on Friday, June 28th.
Yeah.
You can mark your calendars for that, dear listener. You can. number one local story is John Calipari at Arkansas.
Absolutely. 100%. I don't care what happens from now
Number
to
two
that
is
date.
Tigers don't go to an NCAA tournament.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's a really good point. Yeah.
Three is thankfully the Grizzlies season ended. So you don't need to listen June 28th.
Unfortunately, no. Please listen. Maybe something different happens to change it. But no, I mean it's a massive story, and you're right.
And what if all those are top between now and then?
Well, then it's going to be we're going to.
And the way this thing moves now at this warp speed,
we're
Brian,
going to
it
have some
does.
fun shows, I guess. Then
I was texting earlier with a friend.
Yeah.
I'll let him do his own telling, but he was taking a nap this afternoon, and I text with him about the Tiger events, and he said, "What the heck? What is going on?"
Yeah. Oh wow.
And I layered to Mizzou.
Holy cow!
He said, "Man, I was trying to take a nap."
That quick, you lay down. Nothing's going to happen at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll take a quick nap. You wake up, and Memphis is looking for an athletic director.
Which I also sent back to him. I go, thanks for napping during our show. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
From
What a friend.
1 to 3 or something,
Yeah.
2 to 3. I don't know. No. But yeah, it's certainly been an eventful day though for Memphis with AD out the door and picking up the starting point guard from Texas. That's an eventful day.
Big afternoon, big night tonight at the Collierville Commissary at Houston Levy and Poplar, where you can get outside on that patio and soak in this spring. Spring is sprung today. It might be the best day of the year today. Or you can go to the original in Germantown. That's where it all started for Walker Taylor and his great idea, his great team, his dream in the early 80s to now. And at Collierville, it's perfect for that big group to watch those games tonight. We got a game coming up in about 17 minutes. Brian, do you know Friday afternoon we have a matinee playoff game like tipping at 4:30 Central?
Really? I had no idea.
We need to go out and do the show at the commissary Friday afternoon and watch that game at 4:30. Get out on the patio and enjoy the Memphis-style barbecue and ribs done the slow-cooked way, the Memphis style at the commissary. If you're craving an easier way to order, you can text commissary to 33733. Start with appetizers and then build in to the big meal. Start with the tamales or the cheese plate or the smoked chicken wings or the barbecue nachos that were invented and created in the early 80s by Walker Taylor and his great team. Then dig into the ribs or the shoulder, chopped or pulled on a plate, on a sandwich, all the sides, and save room for dessert. Quite a challenge, but the best lemon icebox pie I've ever had anywhere. With the banana pudding or the strawberry cake, you will be delighted at dessert time at the commissary. You'll be delighted with all of it, with the appetizers, with the hors d'oeuvres, with the dessert, with the atmosphere at both commissary locations. 901-754-5540 or go online at commissarybbq.com in Collierville and Germantown. Catering, orders to go, tailgating, any season, time for the commissary. 901-754-5540 or online at commissarybbq.com.
When you're right about that Friday afternoon, 4:30 Bucks and Pacers on ESPN, and I don't mind that at all.
I love it.
Oh, man. Brett, you know me. Anytime I can get some day action,
I wish we had more of that.
Yeah, no, that would be that'd be great.
Now, I know people go, some of us have to work. Sure. We can't just be entertained like you sports guys. But, selectively on a Friday, especially East Coast, like they're doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I love that. So we'll see on Friday. That'll be fun to have that on in the background. But let's go ahead and get to a break. And when we come back, we'll wrap up today's show. We're talking about Crunch Time.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Challenging, purposeful, rewarding.
I was the only female in my class, so I call them my brothers to this day because they supported me, they helped me. Like, I couldn't do pull-ups. I went to the gym, we worked out together, so it was fun.
We have the unique opportunity as deputies of interacting with people at some of the worst and sometimes most transitional or pivotal moments of their lives.
Come join our team, become a patrol deputy with the Shelby County Sheriff's Office.
Hey, Hey, Jason, my main man, Marshall, what's up over there at Gossett Volkswagen on the Pike?
Well, Randy, we know the one size doesn't fit all at Gossett Volkswagen, so we've got a take your pick offer that covers all the bases.
Well, everybody I know, including me, loves choices. So, Jason, what do you got?
How about a 2024 Taos S, 2024 Tiguan S, or a 2024 Jetta Sport? Take your pick for $279.99 a month. Plus 1.9 for 60 months on all Atlas and Atlas Cross Sports. Or get a brand new 2024 Atlas Cross Sport SE for only $33,988. And no reasonable offer will be refused.
Ask for Jason, the main man, Marshall at Gossett Volkswagen, 1875 Covington Pike, or online at GossettVWMemphis.com.
That's Gossett Volkswagen on Covington Pike, where we're charging forward and charging less every day.
All 36-month lease, 7,500 miles per year. Taos RMO 51756, MSRP 26063. Tiguan RM 103,910, MSRP 31363. Jetta RMO 48802, MSRP 25506. Cross Sport RC 2366449, MSRP 38981. Includes $3,000 rebate. Cannot be combined with special APR. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax on license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month with approved credit dealer stock only.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is your buddy Johnny Radio. I'm here with Mark, the owner of Dyer's, out in Collierville's historic town square, where they've been cooking up them burgers since 1912, the old-fashioned way. Mark, what's going on in life? I see you got your 4 kids with you. What do they love about Dyer's?
Man, they love everything about Dyer's. They love all the great food that we serve, and they really like eating our good food and watching some of their favorite sports.
Braden, what do you like at Dyer's?
I like a bacon burger with fries, a milkshake, and with a Tigers game in the background.
Carter, who's your favorite football team?
The Carolina Panthers, and just with some macaroni with that sounds amazing.
My man Beckham, what's your favorite food over at Dyer's?
We like the double cheeseburgers.
Kinley, what is your favorite dish over at Dyer's?
Daddy's cheeseburgers and the Dallas Cowboys game in the background.
Just remember, everybody, bring your family, bring your friends, bring your team out and eat at our place.
So head on over to Dyer's in Collierville's historic town square.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Don't sweat a swing and miss thanks to insurance tokens from BetMGM. Add an MLB wager to your bet slip and activate your bet insurance token. If your bet with the token applied doesn't hit, you'll get your stake back in bonus bets up to a specified maximum amount. That's another chance to step up to the plate and bet on the action out there on the diamond. Baseball is America's national pastime, and BetMGM's favorite pastime, making the sport even more amazing for fans. Whether you want to bet on a no-run first inning, try a signature bet, or take a home run prop, BetMGM has a loaded lineup for all 9 innings all season long. Go to your BetMGM account today to claim your bet insurance token and get your stake back in bonus bets if your MLB wager using the token doesn't win. Only at BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks and official sports betting partner of MLB. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 years of age or older. Tennessee only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards are non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 7 days. Gambling problem? Call or text the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789.
It's the Dodge Power Shot Day's last call, and that means it's time to get your best deal at Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Feel exhilarated in 2023 Jeep Renegade Latitude 4x4, $25,889 or $389 a month. And get yours before they're gone. 2023 Dodge Charger SXT, $29,969 or $459 a month. And during Ram Truck Month, get 2024 Ram 2500 Tradesman Crew Cab, $6,000 off MSRP. Plus 0% for 72 months on select models. So drive past the rest and come to the best. Gossett Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat on the Pike. Online, GossettMotorCars.net.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
All 75 months at 8.99%. Renegade Triple P 56520, MSRP 31095. Charger PH 651421, MSRP 36420. Ram RG 193472, MSRP 65925. AP offer at 72 months. Includes all rebates and incentives. PF 695. Excludes tax, title, and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is Geraldo, it is crunch time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye. Hello, Haskins. It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, what I learned today, and Brett, I would not be surprised if we have the same what I learned today, because this was crazy over the weekend. Miles Russell, a 15-year-old, finished in the top 20 of the Korn Ferry Tour event over the weekend in his first pro start ever. Over this past weekend, he finished 14 under par to become the youngest player to make a cut in a Korn Ferry event. He's also a lefty, so I love that because I'm a lefty.
I did not
well.
have that.
But wild.
But I'll get to it in a little bit.
Oh, wild that a 15-year-old, though, making a top 20 in Korn Ferry trip. That's crazy.
No, what I learned and had painfully confirmed to me all weekend, the Cardinals just aren't any better than last year, so it's just by a little. Pitching a little better. Sonny Gray, Lance Lynn, pretty good. Yeah. Really amazing to have 9 wins for this bad team. Mason Wynn's going to be a star. There's not much in Memphis. There's no hitting at all. Jordan Walker needs to be in AAA. Paul Goldschmidt looks done, and not much for for Nolan Arenado. The doomsday scenario has hit for the Cardinals.
Yeah, it feels like it. It's not a lot of fun. What I could have done without, a couple different ways I could go here, but it's got to be the shooting performance from the guards for the Magic in their first game against the Cavs. It just was really bad. Gary Harris, 0 for 6. Jalen Suggs, 4 for 16. The 2 starting guards combined 1 for 12 from 3, and the bench wasn't any better. Cole Anthony, 0 for 7. Markelle Fultz, 0 for 4. Gotta be better if they want to even compete in this series against the Cavs.
What I could have done without is 15 is just too young.
I mean, it's so young.
That's young for you two guys, and y'all are young guys, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, 15 is so young to me. And yeah, you're right. I'm
extremely
only 24,
young,
and I think 15 is extremely
I don't know anything about the situation. He may have the most perfectly adjusted parents on earth, and he could be 15 going on 28. I don't know. But I do know this. At a golf course, at a country club, 15 has no place being around there.
No.
You bet they better be real careful with this.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. Where are you beaming tonight?
Beam me to New York. Had A's Yankees this afternoon. MSG tonight, the 4th different Madison Square Garden location. This one right around the corner from Macy's and right above Penn Station.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Beam me tonight. Forget the basketball. Forget the baseball. Beam me up to Boston for Leafs versus Bruins. Getting ready to start.
Bees Leaves.
And, oh, man, I love that. Should be a good game. Leafs need to win here. Need to steal one on the road.
Arizona at Busch Stadium tonight, Brandon Pfaadt versus Lance Lynn. That's big against Pfaadt.
Well, it sure is. It should be a fun night. Baseball, basketball, hockey, a little bit of everything. But that's all the time we have. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Mugshots Grill and Bar in Collierville is now open, and the ribbon cutting is April 25th. And Collierville Mugshots is giving away free